at big hoik, and it went perilously close to that leg stump.
Yeah, in trouble here is 𝗂𝗍𝗵𝗂𝗃𝗃, bogged down by some very good bowling we saw from Isa Nadil, and now Kashif Bhatti. It comes to an end, 5 for no loss, so good start here from the Stallions. Opting to bowl first, and 𝗂 Faisal, as we have seen so much in this tournament, left arm spin has really been the pick of the spinners that we have seen. And if you're looking for pace, well, the man with ball in hand, Isa Nadil, has given you that in the first over.
Yeah, we all know what Ehsan Adil is capable of, but talking about left arm spinners, they have been phenomenal throughout this tournament. A wide slip in place.
Shot into the offside, Tarun Adada.
That would have been out. He was struggling. A direct hit was needed.
That is off stump.
So 𝗂𝗍𝗵𝗂𝗃𝗃, we saw in the last over, was in a tangle with the left arm spinner. And look at that, beats the edge outside the off stump and through to Cheyenne.
How do you play that? An absolute peach of a leg cutter from Ehsan Adil. Got a smile on his face. Who would not like that? Big, tall, fast bowler in the back of the commentary box, Brian Walters, brought a smile to his face. That was a terrific delivery.
Yeah, ripper of a ball. And we talked about the first over from Ehsan Adil, gone for 3 extras, so he's yet to concede a run that has come off the bat of either Tarun or 𝗂𝗍𝗵. Oh, top edge. It doesn't matter how they come. They will welcome this shot. Productive one off the bat of 𝗂𝗍𝗵𝗂𝗃, and gone for 4.
Yeah, not quite where he intended, but he'll take the result. Ehsan Adil, not quite short enough for this kind of shot, but 𝗂𝗍𝗵 wants to make a statement, wants to be aggressive and put the pressure back on the bowler. Making Ehsan Adil think twice and changing his plans.
Yeah, you gotta love the bravery of 𝗂𝗍𝗵𝗂𝗃. He's taken on Ehsan Adil. And they go up to double figures. We talked about whenever the Cardinals have batted first, 𝗂 Faisal, they've posted good scores. Now down the leg side, we'll wait and see. May have come off something. And leg bye is the call. So 4 more leg byes added to the 4 off the bat of 𝗂𝗍𝗵𝗂𝗃.
Although Ehsan didn't do a lot wrong with the previous delivery, he still wanted to tighten up on the line and pay the price for bowling 2 straight. That's 2 boundaries, and credit to 𝗂𝗍𝗵𝗂𝗃 for being proactive, looking to put the pressure back on, and earned a couple of boundaries.
𝗂 Faisal, we talked about the times when Cardinals, Central Cardinals batted first. They really put on scores. Tucked away, lovely shot again from 𝗂𝗍𝗵𝗂𝗃, hands the strike over to Tarun Adada. And let's look at what has happened during the course of this tournament when Central Cardinals batted first. In fact, in their opening game, we thought it was a bit of an upset when they got past a powerful put-together Clarion Eagles lineup. They made 172 in that game. And then in the Atlanta Lightning game, got up to 202. We saw a big knock from Raymond Reifer. And then yesterday, replying to 195, 148. So they're not a team that has been scarce on runs. And they come into the elimination series, the elimination day, and they'll be hoping that they can get among their average. Yeah, play and a miss, and Tarun Adada has all been tied up here by the bowling of Ehsan Adil. The third over comes to a close. It's 15 for no loss. So 3 overs gone, 17 for no loss. And 𝗂𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗲 will continue. 𝗃𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃, he's been good in his previous over. And he comes in here to bowl to Saideep Ganesh. Play and a miss. Several times we've seen Ganesh looking to go into the onside from the left arm spinner. Hasn't gone pretty well. So now a word with Tarun and Saideep. And you get the feeling that Tarun Adada might have been a good fall to the plan. This one lofted into the offside. Look at that, straight down the throat of the fielder. And the first wicket falls. Ganesh goes tamely. It's 17 for the loss of 1.
Well, Saideep Ganesh had showed signs that he would be aggressive in this power play. Just stroked the ball. Didn't quite go through with the full flourish. Shayan Jayasuriya with the catch. Look how wide he is. And he wanted to go even wider, Saideep Ganesh, but couldn't manage it. And straight into the hands of Shayan Jayasuriya. First wicket done. The Cardinals 17 for 1.
So 17 for 1, Ganesh gone. And we've seen an early strike here from 𝗂𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗲.
Looks like it's Nitish Kumar. All the players are wearing their uppers, so the shirt numbers are not visible. I can recognize him from his helmet from that far. I think it's Nitish Kumar.
Yeah, he gets a good delivery. We've seen good bunks and turn from time to time. And so Nitish Kumar, he comes out here. Shah Faisal, highest this series. He's got up to a 46. And a couple of 30s for him along the way, but he comes in here with a long way to go. Yeah, 𝗂𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗲 has really bowled well. We saw him a couple of days ago, Shah Faisal, on field number 5. And you get the feeling that he was always going to spearhead this Stallions X spin attack. And into the offside, well stopped by the fielder. Looks like Sharad Lamba. Or might be Tajinder Singh. He's done well.
Yeah, talk about 𝗂𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗲, like I said, the experience, 121st class games, 83 T20 games, and plenty more List A games at a higher level. Definitely means that he knows his craft. He's very wily. Closes out over number 4. It's 17 for 1.
B point or square?
17 for 1.
New bowler.
𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗃, the man dismissed. Wicket maiden from 𝗂𝗃𝗵𝗵𝗃, the last one. Excellent stuff from the wily left arm spinner.
So it looks like 𝗂𝗚𝗄𝗎𝗓 has been given the ball here, Shah Faisal. And so Ihsan Adil gets a relief, 2 overs, no maiden, none for 8 from him. And we'll come in to bowl to Tarun Adada. He's been there for some time. He's failed to connect on a couple of times. We'll have to wait and see if that fortune change now as 𝗂𝗚𝗄𝗎𝗓 ball into the onside and they scamper through, and so he is a chance for him to get better fortunes on the other end, as now for the first time he's run across. It's 18 for the loss of 1.
Tejinder Singh really disappointed. I think he had the opportunity. Just turn around and a shy, just 15 yards out. See side on angle, see if the batter was short. Would have been pretty close.
Yes, next stump.
If that had hit direct.
So this game is a couple of the teams. One from Group B, and of course one from Group A. Shah Faisal. We talked about coming to this elimination day with a clean slate, and it's now the knockout stage. Already we've seen a couple of teams from both groups exited the tournament, and it all comes down to a very important day. Semi-finals tomorrow, and of course the grand final on Sunday, but so much to play for. That's a good shot into the hands of the fielder Ihsan Adil, and another tame dismissal. Nitish Kumar is gone. It's 18 for 2 now.
Well, that's a big wicket. Nitish Kumar is one of the form men, looking to give himself some room, and hoik it over that fielder at mid-off. Ball got big on him and couldn't control it. Went straight to Ihsan Adil, who wasn't going to make a mistake. Ghulam Mudassir makes immediate impact. And it is the big man Nitish Kumar in the big game. Walks out for a duck. And the Cardinals now 18 for 2.
So Bishnoi comes to the middle. 18 for the loss of 2. We've seen one from Ghulam, and we've seen a wicket from Kashif Bhatti. And you get the feeling, Shah Faisal, early pressure here on the Cardinals. They're 2 down with 18 on the board.
That is left stump, sir.
And we talked about they've never struggled to get among the runs when they've batted first, but they're 2 down with just 18 on the board. We've seen the departure of Saideep Ganesh. We've seen the departure of Nitish Kumar, 2 quality batters. And now it's down to the likes of Bishnoi, Tarun Adada, and the others to come. Raymond Reifer is still a big factor. Into the offside. We'll get a run and straightly off the way. In fact, 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗃 is the batter. I was wondering, Bishnoi usually batted at 4, but he's left-hander, so 𝗂𝗃𝗃 comes out here. Shah Faisal is 19 for 2.
You've seen these morning games. Today the pitch is quite good. These morning games have demanded for batters to take their time early doors, and then they can express themselves and use the conditions. With wickets in hand, you can really go big towards the back end of the innings. But trying to go too hard in the power play have resulted in early wickets.
Yeah, you're right on that, Shah Faisal. The wicket has really gotten better as we come down to the last few days of this tournament. And when you look at the Stallions side, Shah Faisal, we saw a rest day for Ghulam Mudassir yesterday. Ihsan Adil took a day off. And so you get the feeling that these pacers are all ready, recharge. And it's no wonder we've seen some balls really with good pace. Into the offside, and that will complete the 5th over. So 5 gone. It's 20 for the loss of 2.
So 19 for 2. Brian Walters here with you to start over number 6, last over of the power play coming up. And you have a lefty and a righty at the crease. 𝗂𝗃 is 1 from 1. Turn it out a 3 from 10. And speaking of lefties, I can think of no better lefty to have in the commentary booth next to me than the rock of the West Indies batting side for several years. The great 𝗃𝗵𝗀𝗃 joins me here. Shiv, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine.
So Shiv, I will say this. I was shocked to see you when I got here this morning. Didn't even know you were here with the setup. You're here managing or coaching rather with these youngsters from the Cardinals. I want to hear a little bit about your experience with them, what brought you to them, and then what do you expect to happen the rest of the way?
Obviously, I'm here to doing some coaching with these boys. Look, from what I'm seeing so far from this tournament and even from minor league cricket, I mean, it's massive. There's a lot of development out here. There's a lot of talent, and the standards is pretty much good. And, you know, I haven't seen this in a long time.
Talk about the standards. You would have been around the setup here in the U.S. for a while. You were the coach, if I remember correctly, of the the women's team for a while, right? And so you go all the way back to when you used to come up and play the 6-a-side tournaments in Sarasota over the Thanksgiving holidays. So you've been in and around the U.S. setup for a while. I want your sense of where things have been for the last several years and what do you think is going to happen going forward?
Well, the good thing about what I'm seeing from back then to now is that a lot of young fellas now are involved in the cricket. So once you have young players are playing, the development is heading in the right direction. And you can see it out there. There's a lot of young players out there now. Back then, you have a lot of older guys playing. But now you have, now you have a lot of young players. And they're not just young players, they're talented young players, and they are able to smack the ball around the place, bowl with decent skills, and some good pace for some of the young pacers. And not pace alone, they still have some skills to go with it. And the cricket look really good. It's looking really good from, you know, from outside, so up watching it, it looks really good.
By the way, and they didn't announce it, 𝗃𝗃 Singh is the new bowler, off-spinner bowling the last over of the power play, 22 for 2 on the board. It's interesting that you mention about the youngsters because obviously from a developmental standpoint, we'll get back to that in a second. That goes right across the line. Wicket number 3, I want Shiv Chanderpaul's opinion on that shot for that ball.
It's a bit... it was a big heap on leg there. I think you should have covered the line a little better. Probably trying to hit it a little more in front of square, trying to pick the gap, and did not cover the line properly. And it was a straighter ball that came right through. Yeah, so you see from that video there, you see he's already gone across, and I find when the ball keeps a bit lower on the wickets out here, it's a little more difficult for them to bat. And when it bounces a bit more, it's a lot easier. And I think that all comes down to playing more on matting wickets or artificial wickets where when the ball bounces more, it's easier for the guys to score and bat better on it.
That's such an important point, and I want you to talk about that a little bit more, because historically in this country, most of our cricket is played on artificial surfaces, whether it be matting or whether it be, you know, concrete with astroturf on top of it. But the difference between, let's call it recreational level cricket and proper high level cricket has to be the surface that you're playing on.
Well, look, turf cricket, the ball always going to keep a bit lower. That's why we said you assess the conditions. And when you go to a ground and you see the wicket is been a bit lower, obviously you cannot be so upright looking to play the ball on the bounce and stand up straight and looking to play the ball. You have to be bending forward and leaning into the shot a little more. This is one of the things we knew from way back then. Like even when I played for Guyana and Guyana, US was sent a team to the Caribbean. You know, we know they're playing on turf pitches. We're trying to make sure that we do not make too many ball bounce too much, keep them as low as possible, maybe hitting the top of the stumps mainly. And it worked for us back then. And, you know, now that you have more turf pitches out there, these guys are going to learn to play on turf pitches a little more, which is going to help them when they go on different conditions to play on different turf pitches around the world to play on international games, whatever games they play in overseas. It's going to help them more because you have more turf wickets out here now.
Words of wisdom. End of over number 6, 22 for 3. The power play is up. Losing 3 wickets inside the power play is probably not something that you want as a coach.
Well, definitely not. You want a better start, but I'm guessing it's a bit difficult out there. It's not as easy we might think from out here. So
exactly.
Yes, yet again they will have to be able to assess and see what's we'll talk about what's gonna be a good score out there and try and make sure we could achieve that and go out there and try and defend it.
So we talked about the pitch. From this end, the southern end of the ground, this is Ghulam Madasta coming into bowl. Left arm pace. You saw Esa Nadil, the tall Pakistani right-handed fast bowler earlier. Looks to be a decent amount of pace and carry, at least from this end.
Yeah, look, even though the wind is coming down and he's running into the wind, he's still able to generate a decent amount of pace. That's what I'm saying. The talents out there, they have a lot of talent out there, good talents, and the cricket look really good from outside. The cricket look really, really good. You have good left-arm seamers, right-arm seamers, good spinners, and they bowl very well. They know how to vary the ball, how to vary the pace, how to, what line and length to bowl. And bowl into the field most of the time, and it looks really, really good.
You mentioned left-arm seamers. I'm going to ask you to go back in memory. The very first name in terms of a left-arm seamer I would think would come to mind for you in terms of your opponents would have been Wasim Akram. But apart from him, tell me some other left-arm seamers who you had found challenging as you played in your career.
Well, look, I think Ryan Sidebottom also would have been one of them. In English conditions is a bit difficult to deal with. And so much others you play around the globe. Trent Bolt. I'm trying to remember a few more.
Okay, let's not qualify it as left-arm pace bowlers, just bowlers in general. What bowlers over the years? And yes, you scored over, from memory, 11,000 test runs and a whole heap of other runs, but you've had success more than failure. But give me some bowlers who at least have made you work for your runs.
Well, they got guys who would probably make you sweat like Wasim and them when these guys coming on to bowl. I remember one incident in Pakistan. We played in Pakistan in Karachi, and Carl Hooper was batting, and he was on 85.
Yeah.
And 𝗏𝗍 was waving to Wasim to warm up, and Hooper was saying to me, "He's coming on to bowl now." And apparently he wanted to bowl and Sacklin was bowling, so they brought Azhar Mahmood.
Yeah.
They told him to bowl the one over there, and Hoops was saying to me, "Okay, well, before Wasim come on, I'll get 100." And he did. Azhar came on to bowl the one over. Hooper hit him over 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, I think, for 6, or back over his head for 4. And then he got a single, got to the next one.
Outstanding.
And then he got another boundary, which he got 100 from that. And then Wasim came on to bowl. And, you know, the same over Wasim bowl came on to bowl, got him out. You know, and it was unbelievable. I mean, he bowled 2 balls from over the wicket, went across Carl.
Yeah.
And Carl was just playing bat and pad, but he was leaving a little gap. And then he decided he didn't go around the wicket. He bowled another couple of balls going away and still do the same thing. Carl did the same thing, leave a little gap there again, and he bowled 1 ball, came back.
Wow.
1 ball that came back and went through that gap and hit the stumps. And then, I mean, when you have bowler at that level, that skills, you know that he can get you out at any time. I mean, I remember myself batting in Antigua too. I was on 89, and he bowled me a full toss outside off stump. And I said, you know, I'm not going to hit it hard. I'm going to just squeeze it for 4. And man, that ball swings so late and came back and hit that off stump. And I was like, damn, you know, this guy's got some skill.
Skied, is this catchable? A long run, it will fall in no man's land, I think. So that is fascinating, and I think a measure of the man. In fact, it's the end of over number 7. I think we're going to go for a quick commercial break. 25 for 3 is your score after 7.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. And so 7 gone. Brian Walters is 27 for 3. We've seen very good bowling here from Stallions X. And you get the feeling Central Cardinals will have to stitch some innings together here. 7 gone, 27 for 3.
Well, that was a treat. It's a little early in the morning to talk about treats, desserts, and so on, but talking to 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃 Chanderpaul and being able to hear stories of, it's always interesting to me, Lenny, when you hear somebody who's retired from international cricket over a decade ago and can tell with specificity how many runs was Carl Hooper on when Wasim Akram was going to come back into the attack, and what was the conversation like between the two. That is fascinating stuff to me. But we do have a match to cover here, don't we? 28 for 3, 1 delivery into over number 8.
So Tajinder Singh comes in here. And so far we've really seen a strong bowling performance from the X. Oh, that's a lovely strike from Bishnoi, and it goes away for a much needed boundary here for the Cardinals.
Haven't had very many of them. That's a lovely strike from Chaitanya Bishnoi. The way, or the reason why you bring the off spinner Tajinder Singh into the attack probably is to try to neutralize Chaitanya Bishnoi. But he's very strong through the offside, particularly over extra cover. That's a shot that he likes to play, playing with the turn toward extra cover. Great strike for 4.
And Brian, we saw the top of the order, Saideep Ganesh, very soft dismissal. Nitish Kumar was another one, didn't stick around too long. And now we come down to the likes of Bishnoi and Castle. They'll have to stitch together a big partnership here. Still a long way to go.
Truly a big partnership needed. Only scoring right now, Lenny, at the rate of 4.36 and over. That's not nearly good enough. We looked at the pitch earlier. I know you saw the bounce and pace from Ehsan Adil. Ghulam Adasa is getting a serious amount of bounce and pace himself. To me, Lenny, this feels like a wicket that you need to be able to score at least 150, 140, somewhere in that range to be competitive. If you don't get anything along those lines, then you're going to have trouble keeping a rampant Stallions X side from winning this match.
And what we've seen, Brian, from this Stallion X bowling lineup, the variety is pretty much there. We saw Issa Nadil, we saw Ghulam Mudassar, the left arm seamer. We've seen 𝗂𝗃𝗵𝗄𝗃, left arm spinner. Now 𝗃𝗫𝗺𝗃 Singh, the off spinner.
Only reason why, as I said, you bring 𝗃𝗫𝗺𝗃 Singh in to try to neutralize the attack from 𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗺𝗃. But for me, Lenny, the biggest issue is going to be the pace itself and how it comes onto the bat. Well, it's end of over number 8, 35 for 3.
He's next to you. That's our new bowler. Coming right on round.
So it looks like Asif Mahmood has been given the ball. Brian Walters.
Again, Lenny, we really do look exactly alike. I can see why you keep calling me Shah Faisal.
And when you look at the leading wicket takers of the tournament, this man with ball in hand, Asif Mahmood, 12 wickets so far. And he's looking for more, still more cricket to be played for this team. So he comes in here into the 9th over. And we'll come into bowl to Bishnoi. A play in the miss, and the ball goes through to the captain, Shayan Jahangir.
From my memory, Lenny, all the overs that have been bowled from the northern end of the ground have been spin. And it appears as though you have a strategy of bowling the spinners from the north end where the wind is coming from. The wind is pretty strong today, somewhere around 15-20 miles an hour. And then the pacers running into the wind, which is always difficult. But you've seen good bounce and pace from all the pacers who've bowled so far.
So ball pulled into the onside, finds the gap, Bishnoi, and it goes away for a much needed boundary here for the Cardinals.
Well, you need a lot of these. Bounce and pace is there, but 𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗺𝗃 Bishnoi was so ready for that ball. And the ball is bouncing, but it's getting up that one around stomach heights, which to a batter like 𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗺𝗃 Bishnoi will not present that much of a problem. Look how well in front of square he played that ball, toward mid-wicket, which tells me he's seeing it early, and even though the ball is coming onto the bat, he's equal to the task 𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗺𝗃 Bishnoi.
So Brian, I talked about Asif Mahmood with 12 wickets, top of the table so far. You look back at 2024 and 2023, those numbers quite prominent at the top of the table for the most wickets, one by Harmeet Singh and one by Hassan Khan. So essentially, you get the feeling that we're going to pass 12 this year.
Well, you would think. And Asif Mahmood, tremendous bowler, coming off of an injury, has been out for a while. So I would estimate that his pace right now is about 75 to 80% of what it can be at top level, but still plenty pace to trouble the batters.
Yeah, good delivery again. And you talked about what we've seen from this end. We've seen Issa Nadil bowl pretty quickly, and we saw Ghulam Mudassar. Now it's Asif Mahmood on the other end. You talked about 𝗂𝗃𝗵𝗺𝗃. He's been so good today. 3 overs, 1 minute, 2 for 4.
Yes, sir.
So as I said, you like the strategy of bringing the spinners in from the northern end because that's where the wind is coming from. And anything struck, you saw the dismissal, the first dismissal of the opening batter who went down the ground, pretty much nailed or middled it, but hit it into the wind. And a pretty simple catch by Shahan Jayasuriya. He's not going to drop those. So I like the strategy. It's a two-pronged strategy. Bring the pacers in from the south and the spinners from the north.
Yeah, ball pulled into the onside. Not timed well. And Brian, I made a point that Central Cardinals never struggled for runs when they batted first. 172 in their opening games. And they got 202 against the Lightning in their third match of the series. So 41 for 3 here, going just over 4.5 runs and over. They've found probably a sterner opponent in Stallion X, but still some ways to go. Asif Mahmood will complete his first over here. And we've known the class of Bishnoi. And look at that, still a very good over here from Mahmood. So this one comes to an end. 9 gone, it's 41 for 3. So the action will continue. Brian Walters, it's elimination day. Couple of games on tap today. And that's the Cardinals. We talked about soft dismissals of Saidib Ganesh and in particular Nitish Kumar. Other than that, we've seen a very good bowling performance here from the X.
Speaking of X, I think the X factor the rest of this innings is going to be the captain, Raymond Reifer. Tremendous left arm spin from, you saw the bowling from the northern end of the ground, but Raymond Reifer, even into the wind, is a powerfully built man and can clear the boundaries straight. And it feels like if this pair can put together a partnership, and it might be less about how many runs the partnership can score, even though you want them around 6 runs and over. But when the platform is set for Raymond Reifer to come in maybe in the 14th over and then be aggressive toward the back end of the innings, that feels to me like the formula to getting something in the range of 140, 150.
So Usman comes into the attack, more left arm spin, Brian. And straight away a single off the bat of Casal. Still some ways to go. And we talked about their run rate at it. For the time being, just under 5. This is good bowling from Stallions X.
Really good bowling indeed, and you're going to want to find a way to accelerate. Currently, the run rate is around 4.56. That doesn't trouble many teams. A projected score there being 92. And if we're talking about 140, 150 like we were mentioning early, you're going to have to start going somewhere around the rate of 9 and over. 9 and over from here gets you to 140, and I think you'd want to go north of that.
So second left arm spin we're seeing here. We saw Kashif and now we're seeing Khalid. Oh, into the offside. Doesn't get more simpler than that. And we talked about 2 soft dismissal. Well, this one is even softer. And Bishnoi gone 42 for 4.
Lenny, before the game started, coach of the Stallions X, 𝗲𝗲 Siddiqui, was hitting some catching practice to me, and I could have taken that catch. It was that soft. It looped up about 20 miles an hour, waist height. That is a catch that anybody on this ground, and including youth cricketers when they come here, would have been able to take that. So Chetende Bishnoi will be very disappointed. You see him walking off there in ultimately dejected fashion. That is something that you would want to have been able to capitalize on. The ball was there. If you extend and not play such a defensive shot, go over the man that shot of that man at mid-wicket, you probably get runs for that. And now, Lenny, here is the man I referred to just now, Raymond Reifer. For me, coming in a little bit earlier than he should have, because you want him coming in being aggressive, but now he's going to need to come in to try to rescue his side as opposed to being able to capitalize on a partnership.
So Raymond Reifer, the captain, comes to the middle. Trouble here for the Cardinals. And you're right, Brian. Raymond Reifer would have been better suited to come in probably 12, 13, 14 over, but with something to work with. Maybe if you come in at 12, 13 or 14 over and you've gotten like 90 for 3, 90 for 4, still something to work with. But we saw him bat it extremely well yesterday. He got 46. And he comes in here with a very good, strong bowling performance from Stallions X.
Boy, so much depends on Raymond Reifer. Wide going down the leg side, so a bonus run to start with, but my goodness, he is, to me, the key to putting a big score on the board. And Tajinder Singh, the left, or the, no, apologies, it's going to be Usman Khan. Usman Khalid rather, who is going to be key. The left armor bowling to the left-handed batting Raymond Reifer. Watch out for deep mid-wicket. For me, that's the area that he can score in heavily off of the left-arm spinners.
Big shot into the onside. Gone a long way. Gone high. And it has the distance. Gone for 6.
That is exactly the area I was referring to, Lenny. He can score easily in that area because the ball is turning into him. And even though there is pressure, you put the ball on his pads at your peril. And he's playing with the turn. That's a pretty clean strike for a left-handed power hitter.
And Brian, you talked about the Reifer family. Certainly a big name in Barbados. They've always been in the first class international scene. The name Reifer. You see Raymond Reifer here. We've seen Floyd Reifer at the international level, who's being part of the West Indies team in India now, part of the coaching staff. And earlier on, we would have seen George Reifer. And here's another Reifer for you, Leslie Reifer.
Umpire Leslie Reifer. Brilliant umpire. Brilliant young umpire.
Yeah, part of the big panel of international cricket these days. So final ball to end the 10:50 comes up, by the way. And Casal is the man on strike. Usman Khalid has gone for 9 in this over. And ball tugged into the onside. Doesn't time it well. And with 51 on the board, that completes 10. And so 10 gone is 51 for 4.
Playing a miss, Asif Mahmood. Big tall lad, strong shoulders. 51 for 4 at the halfway stage. Cardinals got themselves into a bit of a pickle. Brian Walters?
A bit of a pickle indeed. I think the theme going through the rest of this innings is going to be Raymond Reifer against the left-arm spinners. That to me is how that goes will represent probably a 30 or 40 run swing potentially in this match.
It's a big shot. No signal. Well, a belated signal there from umpire Nuruddin. As Asif Mahmood was suggesting, it did clip the shirt on the way through to wicketkeeper Shayan Jahangir. Yeah, you're done in the middle before the start of the game. The pitch looks very good. It's just 10 o'clock start. Seems pretty early, very cold. Cardinals probably missed a trick by going too hard too soon, in my opinion. He's launched into that. But the jig and the celebration from Asif Mahmood. Usman Khalid with the catch. Strong wind, and that blow was not strong enough to pierce through this wind and go over. Nice sliding take from Usman Khalid. Half the side back in the hut.
Half the side back in the hut indeed. That's not a particularly large boundary. It's 65 yards from the center of the pitch. And he took that catch probably 5 yards in. So that's about a 60-yard hit. Not a whole lot of energy or effort behind that shot. Maybe slightly beaten for pace, Shah Faisal. But you mentioned the fact that Asif Mahmood is such a good bowler. And even to me, looking at him bowl here, as you see that dance, he's still dancing out there. He is, to me, bowling at around the 70 to 80% of his full potential pace. But it's still plenty of pace to rush onto the batter, and no real answer on that occasion.
That seems like you, Brian Walters.
Like me. Where did that come from? It has been hours since I've danced that much, Shah Faisal.
Is that happy-go-lucky kind of attitude that Asif Mahmood is expressing? And good fun to watch. Brian Walters.
Off stump.
This contest, though, we wanted it a tight contest with teams coming into knockout stages, but no partnerships of note. And that is the Achilles heel so far for the Cardinals.
You mentioned no partnerships of note. That's exactly right. 17 for the first wicket, 1 for the second wicket. I'll go through the rest of them after this ball. Wide again, but third wicket partnership was 20. Fourth wicket partnership, 10. And just really not really, the fifth wicket partnership, 11. Not really being able to build anything of substance. I mentioned Raymond Reifer. I don't want to put it all on the captain's shoulders, but it's feeling like he has to somehow take over and dominate. And remember, this is an elimination match, so no time to have second chances here.
Yeah, absolutely. Just asking way too much of your skipper. Although he's capable, no denying his talent and his ability and his form as well coming into this game. He's really found this ฎ𝗵𝗃 Sports Complex to his liking. He scored on every surface that he's played. The one behind us, field 2, the best of the lot in terms of the quality of the pitches for batting. That's where he scored runs. But yesterday as well, in a losing cause, he looked very good. Remain unbeaten on 47. Ball! Oh, I thought it went through. I honestly thought it went through. He's been bowling short and then slips through that Yorker, almost getting through the defenses.
The old fast bowler's trick. Look at this Yorker. Look where this ball pitches. On the popping crease shot Faisal. That is, you cannot bowl a better Yorker than that. Somehow they converted that into a single. But that's what you get with a fast bowler who has pace. Keep him on the back foot, back foot, back foot, back foot, full ball. And those are the ones that typically get through. Full credit to ฎimaruti for being able to keep that one away from the furniture.
Yeah, absolutely. They need a partnership. Even at this stage, if Ḍimaruti is able to stay in with Reifer and Reifer finds his best form, there is still time available. 9.2 overs. Can get to a score of around 150. You never know in knockout games. They're playing a miss. I see they get up to 150. It will be hard work from here, but you got to put in the hard yards if you want to beat the quality side that Stallion X is.
You're absolutely right. The one qualifier would be that 140 in an elimination match for the team batting second. It might feel like about 160, 170. So you do have that scoreboard pressure element that comes to the fore when you know that the team that's batting second is attempting to stave off elimination.
Riding the bounce very nicely. Will come back for the second. Tesuri choosing to go to the non-striker end. But nicely done by Raymond Reifer. Generally, this Cardinals side does include quite a few youngsters as well. Good experience for them, and that's where the importance of Raymond Reifer. He might not have showed them how it's done, but through the camp, he would have explained to the youngsters the process as well. 11 done, 56 for 5.
पूरा खिलाना है इसको आउट हो जाएगा 5 बॉले खेलेगा तो ये एक पीछे जाओ स्लिप छोड़ दे लेग एम्पायर ओके काशी भाई इन्हों में कह रहे हैं थोड़ा इधर दो लेन दे ये सिंगल नहीं ले वो यहाँ पे एक करते हैं हाँ ठीक है इधर आ जाओ इधर आओ घूमो
Ignorance on the ball, and the think tank of the Cardinals looking a bit worried, looking a bit cold as well. Losing the toss is a big disadvantage under the circumstances. You'll have to keep that in mind all the time. Inside edge onto the pad. 𝗂𝗵𝗃𝗃 into the action again.
Left arm spin. If I am 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗃. I'm looking to tap the ball into the gigantic gap on the leg side and get Raymond Reifer on strike. There is nobody in the same zip code as 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗃 on the leg side. So if possible, step over, work the ball into the leg side. That is perfect. That is all you need to do. And get the man with the ball turning into him on strike.
Yeah, that was too straight and allowed Maruti that opportunity to rotate strike. 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 is really rushing through his overs, not allowing too much time in between the deliveries. Got through with 2 dots and a single. But now he's got Raymond Reifer. Although clever that they're making Reifer hit into that very strong breeze onto his onside. It has to be a real good hit to go over the line. And is this good? Not quite, because of the wind. Almost landing in the lap of Tejinder Singh, it looks like it. He got a hand, but couldn't prevent the boundary.
The wind is the only thing that prevents that ball from ending up in those pine trees at deep mid-wicket. Raymond Reifer is a tremendous striker of the ball. The wind is coming directly from that direction. And so the fact that he got it just over the top of Tejinder Singh, I think speaks to his strength. But if you are the bowler, 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃, you don't mind that shot. Just anything less than a perfect hit in that direction is the end of the captain.
Exactly, that's what I said. It's a clever move by the skipper to bowl the left-arm spinner from that end and making Reifer hit onto the onside with a lot of help from the wind. It's really picked up in the last couple of minutes too.
Yes.
As 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃 fires it in outside the off-stump on that occasion. He will be wanting Reifer to drag it from across and lose control. The line should be around off-stump. He has done that, Reifer, but this time bouncing away to the sweeper. 8 of the over, not bad result at all for Cardinals, as Reifer will keep the strike. 12 done, 64 for 5.
64 runs, 12 overs, Shah Faisal. 9 and over from here gets you to 136. 136 to me feels like the minimum amount that you'd want on this pitch, particularly trying to defend that number for the team batting second, where conditions should be better in the second half of this game.
Yeah, you're right. But give them something, at least to challenge, and you never know with a couple of early wickets, you know, that total of 130 can look 150.
Yep. Oh.
It's gone past Shayan Jahangir. Won't go to the fence. I have to wait for the umpire's signal if Reifer did get anything on it. Nothing at all, actually. White ball. So even a better result. 3 runs of that delivery.
Boy, in a game of this magnitude, you cannot afford a lot of extras. Talk about the fact that 130 might seem like 150. Well, you have 14 bonus runs already. 14 extras in this game. 14 represents 20% of the runs that have been conceded in this game so far. You cannot have that as a bowling unit.
You can't. This is another good contest. Raymond Reifer from the Caribbean would love pace on the ball. Ghulam Mudassir is probably the quickest bowler, at least in this game on show. Asif Mahmood might be challenging that, but Ghulam Mudassir is pretty rapid too.
Yes.
So that is a fiery contest.
Strength against strength.
5 wickets down though, Raymond Reifer. That is his challenge. Nicely played. Go fetch that. Wrong line from Ghulam Mudassir. Was penalized with a couple of wides earlier. This time it went one better for the Cardinals. Boundary for Reifer.
2 things that you cannot do from this end is, number 1, bowl that line. Anything going down the leg side will be easily helped away by Raymond Reifer. Loves the ball coming onto the bat. Number 2 from this end is to bowl full. If you bowl, unless it's Yorker length, anything that is drivable, if you get it up in the air, it will be helped by the wind. It will carry over onto the next field. So 𝗂𝗚𝗏𝗃𝗃 has a bit of a small margin for error here.
And he has to be spot on with his line and length. That was pretty much close to that because you cannot bowl slot, like he said, with the wind. Someone like Raymond Reifer, where he had to produce a perfect hit to get the boundary. On the other hand, even a miss hit will carry over on this end because of the wind.
With pace, a perfect hit from this end ends up on Highway 411.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, not quite 411. It ends up in the parking lot getting ready to pull out onto Highway 411.
No, we're talking about Raymond Reifer perfect hit.
This is true. This is true.
I don't know if you can have a quick glance to that side of the ground where we've seen few deliveries hit in that direction, and there is a little slope leading up to that highway. Quite a few balls went up the slope, not quite to 411, but almost. So that won't be the case here with Maruti hitting towards the offside. He may not produce such a big hit. Chance to catch it! Oh, perilously close to that fielder. But Maruti took a chance and came good with it. The runs continue to flow in this over.
Continue to flow indeed. Asif Mahmood at short mid-off, just out of his reach. Just maybe another 2 feet. If he's able to get over another 2 feet, he might pull off a spectacular catch there. But you need all these runs absolutely flowing for you here.
This is up and over. Chase is on, but it will be in vain. Almost clattering into the combo. Asif Mahmood. Another boundary though. This is good for Cardinals.
Oh my goodness. So I thought that Asif Mahmood was going to end up on this table in front of both of us here, Shah Faisal. But that's what you need. Again, overpitched on this ball, going straight down the ground. 4 runs to close out the over.
This is where Asif Mahmood is running into Brian Walters. I know who would have come second best.
You leave it right there, sir. My apologies, by the way. I said the end of the over. This is the last ball coming up, but a really productive over nonetheless. 76 runs already, so you're getting more along the lines of what you're looking for if you're pushing toward that 140 mark.
It's 80 now after that boundary, after 13, as we are watching Tejinder start a fresh over.
So, yeah, my apologies again. So, I was right the first time. But, yes, 80. Now, this presents a different challenge with the right arm spin of Tejinder Singh, because now the ball is turning away from Raymond Reifer, and that really will induce a wicket if he hits it toward mid-wicket. So, he's going to have to be careful here.
Intriguing, this game of so many different variables.
Yes.
Back and into the hands almost of Sharad Lamba. Diving forward, never easy. It was tipping down on him. 10 out of 10 for the effort. But Lamba would be thinking he's better than that.
You hate to be critical, and the most difficult catches to take are the ones flat at you in the outfield. But it just did carry, not able to get his hand underneath it.
All of a sudden, this game has kicked into some action. They were just waiting for me and you to get in partnership in Combox.
Is that all it took? Well, this game is kicked into action because of this partnership. Now worth 31.
And now the singles are coming.
So
very few dot balls in between, and that also is a sign of the innings gaining rhythm and momentum.
If you go 6 and over, 7 and over through, let's say, over number 15, and then from there on, let the dogs loose,
No run. Nice, 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 nice.
You have
Teji,
somebody
nice,
like
Teji,
a
finish अच्छा
Raymond
करके
Reifer.
जाओ.
By the way, this entire week,
Finish
every
अच्छा
time I've
करके जाओ.
started to
एक
say
आउट हो
Raymond
गया
Reifer,
यहाँ
I've
पे
said
110
Floyd
भी नहीं
Reifer.
होंगे.
It happens every single time. But if you have him cut loose in the last 4 or so overs, then you certainly can get a much more competitive score on the board.
Yeah, partnership. Again, we mentioned that, and you see a little partnership, and then we see flurry of 4. Singles keep coming. And the innings are looking a lot better at 6 and over after 14. It's 84 for 5.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tariq Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
$84 for 5, 6 to go. Cardinals looking to fight back. Now Ehsan Adil from this end. Tall seamer ball, 2 good overs with the new ball. Again, lacked for a little bit of control in the first over. Everyone was so cold at the time.
Right.
It has definitely warmed up with the sun shining brightly now. Still strong breeze, which makes things a bit cooler. But definitely warmer than when we first came at the ground at around 9. Easy single. Fielders sitting back at the edge of the 30-yard, so there are singles available. And to their credit, they've been able to pick them up quite regularly.
So the last 5 overs, Shaf, I saw 43 runs scored. So that might not sound very impressive, but it represents 8.6 and over from an overall innings right now that the economy rate is, or the run rate is 6. So you're certainly accelerating at the right time of the innings. You bring Ehsan Adil back in for the reason that the captain senses that that acceleration is taking place.
Cramping him for space, but again, soft hands, watching the ball onto the bat and getting a single. Yeah, just a while ago you said 9 and over would have taken them to 136. I think from here on in the last 6, 9 and over will take them to 139. I make it, which is still slight improvement. And with wickets intact, the partnership going, the deeper they go into the innings, that 9 and over can be converted into 10, 11, even 12 if Reifer gets a good day. So they're still hanging in there. This partnership needs to carry on though for a little longer. Our chance, Ehsan Adil misses from 10 yards out. He had all the 3 stumps to aim at.
He looked. He took his time. He had all the time in the world, and he probably could have read a book in that time. Look at this here. Look at this. When that throw passes, he is not even in the shot. That was one that you wanted to have. Ehsan Adil is a brilliant fielder for a man his size. He will want to have hit there. As you mentioned, he had 3 stumps to aim at. And from that angle, boy, you'd like to fancy the big fast bowler's chances of being able to make that hit.
Well, he'd be regretting the fact that in his younger days he didn't play those marbles. If you're good at that, you could easily find those 3 stumps a lot bigger target than a marble. Edgy runs away down the hill. Jayasuriya gives up the chase nice and early. A boundary to Reifer. And the innings continue to propel for the Cardinals.
So Ehsan Adil, you don't expect him to pitch up to Raymond Reifer because Reifer can go back over his head. But look at the big man here, just opening the face, intentionally playing that late, opening the face just to get it far enough the man inside the ring at backward point, and it races away down the hill. A bit of a, maybe a thick outfield, but nothing stops that ball from going all the way to the boundary.
That shows the versatility of the man.
Yes.
He's got the power. He showed us he's got the touch as well. Oh, that's a flashing blade. Sweeper wouldn't get to it. It went flat and hard and over the fence. Raymond Reifer at his very best.
Again, trying to not pitch up to him, but the mistake that you make here, Esandadale, is going too wide. And he does not need room to play that shot. You cannot allow Raymond Reifer to free his arms like that. Flashing it away, and again, the wind is coming from that direction, but the ball still carries over the ropes at deep point for 6. And you mentioned it, flat and hard, all the way over point for 6.
This is looking good. Looking very good last few overs. It's gone again. This time to the left of that sweeper and a long way over. Not as flat, but it went very, very far. Back-to-back sixes to close out over number 15.
Stop me if I've said this before. You cannot bowl that length from this end. From this end, the ball is being helped by the wind. 6 over extra cover. A charge is on the way. 100 is up. 50 partnership. All of those things happening all at once, Shah Faisal. You and Lenny have a really exciting 5 overs remaining.
Asif. Asif Khan. आसिफ यहाँ आ जाएगा जो इम्पैक्ट आ गया सर शाबाश बॉयज लगे रहो हाँ लगे रहो शाबाश
into the hitting arc of Raymond Reifer. He's just bowling it darts and bowling wide outside the off stump, not allowing Reifer to get underneath. Margin for error will be very small for 𝗂𝗫𝗵𝗏 against the likes of Raymond Reifer.
And Shah Faisal, is beginning to make the point of how many sixes, 279 so far. But how many sixes personally were batters in this series? Well, we saw Mukhtar Ahmed with 14 sixes. We saw Jariwala with 12. And Raymond Reifer came into today's play with 13 sixes. He has struck 4 already, so he's at the top of the table with 17.
He's been the form man throughout the tournament. Other players will have a say about it because they will have games as well, but especially Mukhtar from the Eagles. But Raymond Reifer, what a knock.
And the fact is, he's not done yet, and we saw some cheap scores from the top order. But Raymond Reifer and Maruti Reddy, they've posted a 58-run partnership now, Shah Faisal. And this over's gone for 7 so far from 𝗂𝗫𝗵𝗏.
To apologize for the little bit of lagging behind in the scoring at the bottom of your screen. I'm sure they'll catch up pretty soon, but Lenny is up to speed with everything.
So 111 now for 5. The 16th over comes to a close, Shah Faisal. 111 for 5.
Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
So welcome back. 16 gone, 111 for 5. And we're down to the last 4 overs. Asif Mahmood comes back into the bowling attack. 𝗃 𝗵𝗂𝗃𝗃.
Let's go.
And we talked about Asif Mahmood came into the attack. In fact, we'll wait and see. He's from the other end. But it's 111 for 5. We apologize for the little lag in what has happened here.
Wicketkeeper standing up, so it looks like it's spin. 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗃's got the ball in his hand.
Let's go, man.
𝗂𝗃.
One more extra ball.
Let's go.
Over gone now.
It's a little bit of hold up in play. Umpire Ishan. And I think everybody's gone back to their positions because it has been figured out that 𝗂𝗃 still has 1 ball to go, which will be bowled now. Couldn't find the gap. Raymond Reifer, hold that weight and hold up for a dot ball. But now 16 completed. And it's 111 for 5.
काशी भाई ऊपर रे काशी भाई बैटर काशी भाई ऊपर काशी भाई
Over number 17 about to start, and it is Asif Mahmood who will continue or will come back from this. And generally fast bowlers have been trusted from this box and by the skipper Shayan Jahangir. Maruti 17 has played a good hand helping his skipper. And they're really looking at a good charge towards the finish. Asif Mahmood starts off with the slow delivery. So what, 23 deliveries left, 10 and over at the start of the over. Could take him to that fancied 150. Still apologize for those this scoring tab at the bottom of the screen. They are working on it to get it fixed for you. But I make it 110 with 23 deliveries to go.
So Mahmood will continue. Oh, guided straight into the hands of the fielder, and the big partnership of 58 comes to a close. Maruti gone, very soft dismissal again, and Mahmood picks up another wicket.
Yeah, Hassan Mohsin with the catch. He really got cramped for space, and Stallions needed that breakthrough because the momentum had gone on with the Cardinals for the last 4 overs. Have a look at that slow delivery. Not much pace to work with. He still was looking to use the pace, and in the end just found Hassan Mohsin. Maruti's knock has come to an end. Played well. It's part of a very good partnership as well. Now 6 down for the Cardinals. 111 on the board.
So we come down. We come down to the latter stages here. 𝗂𝗧𝗧. We saw a big partnership between Reddy and Raymond Reifer. The good news, Raymond Reifer is still out in the middle. He's really batted well. New batter comes to the middle.
Important that the momentum stays with Cardinals if they want to get up to that 150.
How many you have? 4, right?
Partnerships are key.
Better.
The little partnership, and we see Arnav Iyer, new man, joining his skipper in the middle.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Arnav Iyer, the youngster, joining the skipper now. Sliding down on the first instance. And umpire Rudin makes a signal. It is a leg by, but good from the youngster. He got his skipper back. He's in red hot form, Raymond Reifer, so you don't want to keep him off strike for too long with only, 21 deliveries left.
Yeah, Mahmood continues to take wickets. 𝗂𝗧𝗧, Raymond Reifer. You get the feeling if he bats through, they could. It's 112 now, and you talked about 21 balls remaining. If they could get run a ball, probably push this up to 135 around that area. But you get the feeling that if Raymond Reifer can strike a few more lusty blows here. But he has really batted well, not only in this game, 𝗂𝗧𝗧, he's given them some very good scores in the series.
Excellent Yorker. Great delivery from Asif Mahmood. To bowl something special to keep Reifer quiet at this stage, and that is exactly what it was from Asif Mahmood.
Yeah, we saw Reifer a couple of days ago, got a 70, got a big score. Iyer is the man on strike, and a run through here for Asif Mahmood. And folks, if you're watching from home, today is elimination day. A couple of games on tap. Stallions X take on Central Cardinals. And then, of course, we've got another eliminator at 2 o'clock. And tomorrow are the big semis, 𝗂𝗧𝗧, and, of course, the grand final on Sunday. And the other eliminator will feature Kingsmen and Seattle Thunderbolts. Sort of like a different format this year, 𝗂𝗧𝗧, allowing 3 teams to go through on each group to the playoff.
Well, this has been a very good over from Asif Mahmood. Took the wicket, broke the partnership, and kept the run scoring down.
So the 17th over comes to a close. A short ball from Asif Mahmood. It's 113 for 6.
Short ball. Very, very well directed. Very well directed. And a good call from the umpire as well. Just calling it 1 for the over. And that was the last ball and over call. 17 gone, 113 for 6.
So we come down to the last 3 overs here, 𝗂𝗧𝗧. A lot of tall trees in the background, and those trees might have been here for many, many years, 𝗂𝗧𝗧.
Beautiful setting to this gorgeous venue here, the 𝗃𝗵𝗃 Sports Complex. Very picturesque in nature. 6 beautifully manicured cricket fields, all with turf wickets, and this is obviously the showground, the field number 1. Watching Ghulam Mudassir, we haven't seen pace from that far end for quite some time. Now Ghulam Mudassir has been given the ball.
Yeah, picked up 1 so far, got a wicket of Nitish Kumar.
Yeah, crucial wicket of Nitish Kumar because he was one of the key men in the top of the order. And once he was dismissed, those 5 wickets fell pretty cheaply until this man on your screens, Raymond Reifer, joined the action. And now, with the last over being a quiet one, pressure is right back on Reifer to find the boundary in this over.
So game taken on the pad, big appeal. They're going to go through for a leg bye.
Very difficult to do anything with such brilliant deliveries. We saw a great Yorker in the previous over from Asif, and now it's 𝗂𝗚-𝗂𝗃𝗀. Look at where it landed, right on the popping crease. Just a single resulted to the total. Now youngster Arnav will really be tested against the pace of 𝗂𝗚-𝗂𝗃𝗀. Atlanta Fire in the home franchise from this part of the world for Mana League and also in this tournament. Arnav, they're going for a run. The throw is wild. Sharad Lamba got the ball away quickly, but it wasn't accurate. And the youngster doing the right thing by getting the skipper back on strike.
Yeah, driven into the offside. Good looking shot. And now we come down to Raymond Reifer. He's really batted well. We saw him getting a 46 yesterday, 𝗂𝗃𝗄𝗃 in a losing cause. Oh, good bowling. Brilliant ball from Mudassar Nazar. In fact, from Ghulam Mudassar.
Oh, Lania Chaiwar. Look at that, where that ball pitched. Right beneath the popping crease, and even with Raymond Reifer in the kind of form that he's in, couldn't do much with it. That is sensational piece of bowling from Ghulam Mudassar.
Yeah,
and at pace too.
It just goes to show 𝗂𝗃𝗄𝗃 where on the wicket you can get a single right on the crease. But don't try it too often. Yeah, full toss into the offside. And you get the feeling, you look at Arnav Iyer, 𝗂𝗃𝗄𝗃 seems to be playing straight.
Yeah, he's doing the job what he's required to do. That is to his credit. Raymond Reifer 4 away from a half century. Now with balls running out, this has been the second over in a row that has really been delivered nicely. And that has put the pressure back right on Raymond Reifer.
Oh, cut away. That's a lovely shot. He finds the gap and it goes away for 4 and brings up a half century for Raymond Reifer.
Very, very well played knock from the Cardinals skipper. He raises the bat. A much deserved applause, and he's keeping his side in the game. A boundary that was much needed on the last ball of over number 18. Stepping away, giving himself some room to counter for that Yorker that Ghulam Mudassar was looking to bowl. Squeezes it away. And that is a classy shot to bring up his 50. Have a look at that. Not looking to go hard and bludgeon, just squeezes it away. Timing to perfection. And boundary to end over number 18. It's 121 for 6.
So match day. And you're looking at Eliminator-1. Central Cardinals and Stallions coming up later on at 2 o'clock. In fact, 2:15. King's Men will take on the Thunderbolts. And so a couple of overs remaining here. Asif Mahmood will bowl 1. And 𝗂𝗃𝗄𝗃, you get the feeling. Here we go. Brian Walters and Chelsea Douglas on your screen. So the partnership of 10, Raymond Reifer another half century, and I say another half century. He got a 70 in one of the league games, 𝗂𝗧𝗧. And we come down here with a couple of overs remaining. 𝗂𝗧𝗧 will be on strike. And they've really recovered well to post 121, as you can see on your board, but they were batting at one time 𝗂𝗧𝗧 53 for 5. And we saw a big partnership of 58 between Raymond Reifer and 𝗂𝗺𝗃𝗃. And so ongoing work still on the outer skirt of the playing facility here at the Atlanta 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 playing field.
The umpires are keeping a close tab on the proceedings. The flow of the games have been terrific in this tournament. This innings, though, I think I've heard through the stumps, Mike, a couple of times the umpires had to remind Shayan Jahangir that they were running behind. And you know what's the consequence if you do fall behind? You have to bring an extra man inside the ring for that time that you overrun. Is that the case right now? I don't think so, but probably maybe for the 20th over.
So flicked away, couple of runs on tap. Raymond Reifer says no. And so he is the man on strike, as see a lot of staff working the event. Of course, you talked about the man who's keeping time. And that's the panel, the third umpire, so to speak. Just making sure that we've got a timely move on things here at ground number 1. Raymond Reifer, a half century for him, and we talked about several sixes today for him, 4 sixes, and he tops the table in how many sixes has been struck in this tournament.
Yeah, so Mahmood has very little margin for error with Reifer hitting with the wind onto the onside. So he did bowl that delivery outside the off stump and got him off strike. This is what the Stallions would want to do, ball at the youngster.
Yeah, short ball, play and a miss, and the ball goes through to the wicketkeeper Shayan Jahangir.
Slower bouncer, it died on the way. You could see him rolling the fingers over it. Good line for the bouncer though, over the right shoulder of the batter. An excellent height, just between the shoulder and head height. Will be called one for the over, so Asif may not explore that short pitch option in the remainder of the over, as he's not allowed to.
Into the offside. Will only get 1. And so no harm done so far, as if Mahmood has gone for 3 in 4 balls, 𝗂𝗧𝗧. So this has been a very good one, considering we only have 1 more over after this.
Yeah, keeping Raymond Reifer away from strike for as long as they can in the remaining 8 deliveries, that will be their success. But now Reifer is on strike and that onside boundary is in danger.
Play and a miss, and the ball goes through to the keeper. So still a very good over here from Asif.
Yeah, that's the plan. Just keep the ball away from Reifer. Although we've seen him hit 2 sixes on the offside as well, when given too much room. But Asif cleverly is taking the pace off, and the ball gripping in the surface. This older ball now. 1 delivery to go. Raymond Reifer wants to go big or wants to take a single and keep the strike for the last over. Big decision to make for the skipper.
Yeah, good delivery. No elevation. Gets a single. Closes out over number 19. It's 125 for 6.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and 𝗃 Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
As expected, 𝗂𝗧 has been given the final over. Raymond Reifer will be on strike. Cardinals 125 for 6.
Asif Mahmood finished with 2 for 15, I think, in his 4 overs. Excellent performance. Especially that last couple of overs were really brilliantly delivered.
You got bring one in?
Third man up in the ring. Fine leg up in the ring as well. Reifer looking around.
Oh, straight. And that's a lovely shot. Bisecting the gap, gone for 4.
Not a bad delivery. Didn't allow Reifer to get underneath it, but he's so strong. Went right back in his crease. Though it came off the bottom part of the bat, but still, because it was placed so nicely, it went over the fence. And a good start to the over for the Cardinals. They got that boundary away early in the over to put Ehsan Adil back under pressure.
So 4 4s and 4 6s of the bat of Raymond Reifer. And 𝗂𝗧 came in at a time in which they were struggling at 53 for the loss of 5. And you look on your scorecard there, he's up to 56. So what a knock we've seen from him. A fight in 1. And still 5 balls to go in this over. 𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗃𝗍 will have to be rebowled. And so more runs here for the Cardinals.
Yes, Ehsan Adil feeling the pressure. I just mentioned after being hit for a boundary in the first delivery. Seems a long over to go through with five runs off the first ball. Reifer just staying still on that occasion. He's earlier been moving around his crease to put the bowler off. It's a game of cat and mouse. Watch at Reifer's feet and what Ehsan Adil can come up with. Goes deep in the crease, goes straight, but couldn't get under. Excellent stuff from Ehsan Adil. Reifer has decided not to take the run, so that is a good move in my opinion.
Yeah, 𝗂𝗧 realizing that. Only a few more balls in this over, 4 to be exact. And he wants to retain as much strike as he possibly can. We talked about earlier on when I was with Brian Walters. Raymond Reifer certainly comes from a cricketing family. A lot of family members have played for Barbados and certainly in the West Indies. And oh, could be a run out here. So a case of friendly fire. Iyer was out of his crease. The ball deflects from the boot of Ehsan Adil. And a wicket falls.
Unfortunate way to go. Reifer would have been looking for a couple of runs down the ground. It was smashed and got the boot. Umpire didn't need any assistance from the technology. Ishan and Iyer was stranded. And that is the wicket, but in all reality, no damage done as Reifer is still on strike with 3 to go. 130 for 7 now.
𝗂𝗧 was making the point. A cricketing family for Raymond Reifer. Family member Floyd Reifer played at the international level. May have captained the West Indies at one time. We'll check that at the halftime stage. But I know Floyd Reifer is in India with the support staff for the West Indies team. Can't score. This has been a good set of deliveries here. We saw Raymond Reifer refusing to take a single, and we've seen 2 dot balls, we've seen a wicket.
Yeah, that all can be made up for if Reifer is able to hit a couple of sixes on those last 2 deliveries to get him up above that 140. You can't blame him. This is the right strategy. Reifer had to take the entire last over to maximize whatever Cardinals can get.
Into the offside, a slashing shot, gone for another maximum. And that's maximum number 5 of the bat of Raymond Reifer.
Yeah, the minute Ehsan Adil erred in length, moved away from that Yorker length, Reifer was ready cleared the front leg and free swing of the arms. That is one of those maximums that he was eyeing after the last two deliveries. Now 1 to go, and I don't think Reifer will have anything other than hitting a 6 on his mind.
So 11 off this over. We've seen a run out in this over. Here is the final ball. 136 on the board. Good delivery. They'll come back for 2 for sure. And that could be it. 138 𝗂𝗃𝗄𝗃 for 7 off their 120 balls.
Well, even that looked unlikely after they were 54 for 5. But thanks to a magnificent knock from the skipper, 62 unbeaten of just 35 deliveries, really came good in this pressure game and has given his team a sniff. They've got runs on the board in the knockout game, and it will be up to the Stallions X to come up and chase it down to book a spot in the semi-final. Interesting game. First 10 overs completely belonging to the Stallions X, but Cardinals, through their skipper, made a fighting comeback. And coach 𝗂𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗀𝗏 will be giving a pep talk to his charges, telling that how important it is to give it your all in the knockout game when they go out in the field and leave nothing behind. And don't expect anything but from a team led by 𝗂𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗀𝗏.
Yeah, we've seen a fine knock from Raymond Reifer. And you talked about 𝗂𝗃𝗏𝗏. There were quite a few wickets down. Not a very interesting power play for them. Just got 20 plus in that 6 over phase. But we saw a very good knock from Raymond Reifer. 62 not out. And it's 136 for 7 at the end of their 20 overs. Yeah, 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗃 Ganesh and the top order was essentially very lukewarm at the top. But look at Raymond Reifer, 62 off 35 balls, and we talked about a big partnership with Maruti Reddy, 50 plus run partnership between the pair, and 𝗂𝗃𝗏𝗏 with Raymond Reifer towards the end. He really gave them a few more runs, and it's 136 for the loss of 7.
The bowling effort was pretty good from the Stallion X. It conceded 18 extras, a bit of a help to boost that total, but Ehsan Adil wicketless today. Kashi Bhatti, Ghulam Mudassir and Tejinder with 1 wicket apiece alongside Usman Khalid. But I think once again Asif Mahmood was the pick of the bowlers. 4 overs, 2 for 15, bowled quick, bowled with great accuracy and control. The execution of his skill set was outstanding today once again for the tall all-rounder.
Yeah, so match summary so far. There'll be more to come. This is just the first innings. Reifer, certainly a standout batter today. And of course, we talked about already being good, 17, and Bishnoi, 13. So we talked about 2 eliminators today. Later on, we'll see the Seattle Thunderbolts. They will come up against the King's Men. For 𝗂𝗃𝗏𝗏, we have seen a big fight here from the Cardinals to get up to 136, as you can see on the board. And we've got Ehsan Adil along with Brian Walters for a quick chat.
Well, it's good bowling effort, and I think Ehsan Adil, being the most experienced of the lot, will have to say something that how did he find the conditions and all, but he's getting it ready. So is Brian Walters. I think it's just about time to head over to Brian Walters. Over to you, Brian.
Ehsan Adil, decent start with the ball. I think fell apart a little bit in the middle overs, but closed strongly with the ball, including a good over from you in the last over. How do you think the innings went for you?
Yeah, first start is a good bowling, like little bit seam. My focus just only hit the good area. But last time he hit good 6s in a middle over, you can't imagine, like in the extra cover, one is the point. And I will come back.
So your team, I think, before the game, if I said to you, you will concede 136 runs, would you have been satisfied with that?
Yes, I'm satisfied. But good total for the batting unit. I have too much batsmen. That's why this is an easy chase for us. Inshallah.
Did I just hear you say, inshallah, an easy chase?
Yes, inshallah.
So an easy chase. All right, I'll ask you. So you've assumed that you're going to win. Which over will this game be finished in?
Oh, I don't know, bro. What are you saying? But still, we hope, inshallah, we win.
Best of luck to you the rest of the way. Great talking to you. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you very much, Brian Walters. Sanadil pretty confident, but not sure how long it will take them to get over the line, but he was pretty certain that they have done the job with the ball, and it's up to the batters. Showing great deal of confidence in his batting lineup to get to that. Some innings highlight there. It started off in a very slow fashion. It was very cold in the morning, and so did all the batters felt, because despite a 17-run opening start, Sadeep Ganesh, who was looking to be aggressive from the get-go, I think didn't wait long enough to get settled. There were a few chances in the field as well. That was the moment when he lost his wicket, looking to go into out. Jayasuriya got in the way. There's another run-out opportunity. Tajinder missing out on that one, and that is the big moment when Nitish Kumar went.
Yeah, it was 3 for 23 around that point. Power play gone pretty cheaply. Tarun Dada, a big shot for him into the offside. Bishnoi came out and he played a couple of big blows along his way. But wickets always continue to fall. At one point, they were batting at 4 for 52. And of course, later on, they came batting at 53 for 5. So they lost a lot of wicket along the way, Shah Faisal, but a good fight back from Maruti. And this one, a big partnership that came to an end, a 58-run partnership.
Yeah, that's after they were 54 for 5. Skipper Raymond Reifer opened his shoulders, and that one just barely went over because of the breeze, but then he took on the bowlers with ease. He found a good partner in Maruti, and that partnership that Lenny was talking about was pretty influential. Couple of boundaries of Ghulam Mudassir for Maruti. And Sanadil bowled a decent spell at yet again. There's multiple run-out opportunities missed by Stallion X. As Reifer shows his class with that classy touch. And then the power from the big man. Back-to-back sixes in that direction.
Yeah, he brought up his half century with a lovely 4. And had it not been for him, Shah Faisal, it would have been trouble here for the Cardinals. We saw a good knock also from Arnav Iyer, who looked he looked the part to rotate the strike along with Raymond Reifer. And he was unfortunately run out from a ball that he was struck back, but we saw some fighting set of runs. And Reifer continued to bat along all through the innings. And we came down to the latter stages here, and still Raymond Reifer, quite a production rate from him. And in the end, Shah Faisal posting, look at that, the run out of Arnav Iyer, who was supporting Raymond Reifer pretty well. And so at the end, it's 138. So 138 posted by the Cardinals. We'll take a short break and return back with cricket in about 10 or 15 minutes from now, with the Stallion X needing 139 to win.
Let's take a few minutes to chat with one of a handful of men who's played international cricket for 2 different countries. Nitish Kumar, former Canadian player. Let's call him current USA player. This match is going interestingly. You didn't contribute much with the bat today, but some acceleration is happening right now. What are your thoughts on where your team is poised?
I think it's I think we're batting pretty well right now. I generally in the mornings here is going to be pretty tough. It's pretty sticky, and it was holding a bit, so it wasn't an ideal start from us, but we knew it was going to be tough going in for 6, for 7 overs. But as long as we get another partnership and these two keep batting for maybe 2-3 more overs, I think we're doing pretty well. We're hoping that the wicket doesn't change too much, so we have a little bit in it for when we bowl, but we definitely knew coming in if we're going to bat first, there's going to be a bit of moisture. It's just a bit tougher to bat in the mornings.
You talk about the bowling. Most of the bowlers from the southern end have been pace bowlers and have seen good bounce and good pace. I see somebody like a Raymond Reifer. He's occupied otherwise right now, but I could think of him bending his back and getting some good bounce and pace out of this. Apart from him, what other bowlers do you think might be key in the second innings?
We got 𝗧 back today, which he's been doing well for us. He didn't play yesterday, so he'll be key. I think the spinners will be key today from the one side. There's a longer boundary today, so that'll be key. I'm not sure. I think the wicket looks a little bit better now, so we might not get as much as they did in the first 6-7 overs. But I definitely think as long as we keep taking wickets, I think we'll be in the game. It just depends how we do here in the last 4 overs or so.
You mentioned the spinners. I personally have seen you bowl more this year than in previous years. Is that a calculated effort on your part?
Not really. I just when the team needs me, I'm ready to bowl. So I think it's been the type of wickets that we've been playing on. They're a bit guys that bowl a little bit slower and into the wicket. It's sort of harder to get away. Generally, just like how their left arm spinner was bowling early on, he was bowling into the wicket and letting the natural variation from the pitch help him out. So that's been the key. But for us, it doesn't matter what we get here. We have to take a couple wickets in the power play to definitely get a good start going there.
And then the last question, I'll ask you to widen the lens a little bit and talk about the bigger picture, cricket in this country. You've seen cricket obviously playing in Canada, and you've been down here for a few years now. What are your thoughts about the development of cricket in this country?
Yeah, I think it's been pretty good, right? I think 3 years ago here we were playing on matting. Now we're playing on grass. So just things like that. And if you see the competition here and the type of players, I think like every team's been pretty decent throughout the tournament. So it's been great to see. As a player, we'd hope there'll be a few more tournaments. There's a few gaps that go on after the summer, so you're hoping that you get a few more tournaments to play, especially if you're not playing for the U.S. or playing other leagues. You keep ticking over in good competitions like this. So I think it's been good, but it has to keep sort of progressing. It can't just stalemate from there, right? So, but it's been good. It's been good to see.
Okay, I'll ask you one more question. With the fall of that wicket, if I were to gauge the Nitish Kumar win predictor, where does it stand right now?
What are we at?
Maybe 117 for 6, something like that.
50-50.
Great talking to you as always.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
So, welcome back to the reply. 139 needed in 20 overs. And we come down to Brian Walters. Alongside me, Brian, 139 from 120 balls.
In theory, Lenny, a pretty straightforward chase. You heard 𝗂 at the mid-innings break that he thinks his batters have the ability to take things over. Opening the batting here with captain Shane Jahangir as well as Tajinder Singh. So interesting, starting with a little bit of left arm orthodox. It's going to be really interesting to see how this pair goes, as it's going to be, again, Shane Jahangir immediately leading off, finding space over the mid-wicket area. 1 ball, 4 runs, Lenny.
Yeah, another good start from Cameron Hotak. First ball, bowling to one of the best around here. And quickly into the onside. He makes it look so easy, Brian Walters, and gone away for 4.
Shane Jahangir scored heavily in the recently completed minor league season. I don't have a dog in the fight other than to be somebody who managed to see several of his innings up close. Saw 2 centuries in Grand Prairie. Strikes the ball cleanly, Shane Jahangir. And with the pressure of this moment, you don't think he's somebody who can feel that type of pressure. Really, really strong player at the top of the order. Interesting choice to open the batting with both Tajinder Singh and Shane Jahangir. Shane Jahangir is a normal opener, you know that. But if you are 𝗂, you think that the choices of winning are pretty much guaranteed. If you are the Stallions X, I will ask you, Lenny Achabar, who do you give the nose to at this stage?
Well, we've seen Brian Walters, 130 plus, hasn't held up well on this ground. Whether or not it was morning or evening, that's a little bit more minute, but for the time being, not really a big score, but we'll have to wait and see, as looks like Tajinder has gotten off the mark with 1.
Certainly working one down the leg side. And so 3 deliveries in. You're looking for another 133 runs, Lenny, in 117 balls. In modern-day cricket, that's not necessarily a very big ask. And it's going to be a much smaller ask if Shane Jahangir keeps doing this. Finding room over the top of extra cover to go big. The only question now, did it go over the rope?
And Brian, there are very few bowlers in this country who could keep this man quiet. He's piled on the runs, certainly at the domestic level in this country, from year after year. And we're just waiting on a confirmation whether he went for a 4 or he went for a 6, where he went for 6.
Lenny, this is as close as you can get. This next replay here, the bounce, this right here should show you. It's very hard to catch, of course. But there is the confirmation. Goes all the way for 6. So Shane Jahangir has come in meaning business. You would think he wants this to be a short chase, Lenny.
Yeah, this over has gone for a couple of boundaries. In fact, it's gone for a 4 and then a 6. So 10 and 1, 12. He's gone for 12 already. So not a good start from Hotak.
And if over one more ball remaining over number 1. A really fast start. You might have heard Nitish Kumar say you need a few wickets in the power play. Not really starting out doing that here, because this is a ball struck straight down the ground. Let's see confirmation whether or not this went over the ropes. But either way, a very fast start from Shane Jahangir and the Stallions X. And there is your signal coming from umpire Ehsan Moulay. That is the end of a very expensive first over. 16 runs come from it. 16 without loss after 1.
Sir, bowler
Bowler is coming right on over. Yes, next time.
Well, Lenny, if you have a score that is under par, and given that we were talking about the score in the 140-150 range, I think it's fair to say 138 is under par. If you have that sort of a start, you are going to want to take wickets up front, and you're going to want to limit runs. Don't think either happened on that first over.
Brian, the fact is, as long as Cheyenne Jahangir is out in the middle there, you know runs will come quickly. He's not a type of player that will stick around. If he sticks around, he's going to play shots. And we saw an over that gone for 16 from Cameron Hotak. Certainly not a good start for them. Raymond Reifer warming up already. And we saw yesterday in Shaw, Faisal and I, every time Raymond Reifer took the ball, he was able to pick up a wicket.
𝗂𝗃 𝗧𝗍 will be opening the bowling from the southern end of the ground. The end of the ground that we thought was more appropriate for pace in the first innings. Let's see how the youngster, U21 player 𝗂𝗃 𝗧𝗍 does here. Lenny, that had some gas.
Yeah, 𝗧𝗍 comes back into the side in front of Aziz. Two seamers and already a ball that has gone for a dot ball. Very important in this format. And so he's gotten one of possibly, if he bowls a full spell of 24 balls, he's got 23 now to worry about. 𝗃𝗍𝗃 Singh, he's another free-flowing batter, but we have seen a quick start from Cheyenne Jahangir.
Well, that's what you need when you're chasing or when you're trying to defend a relatively low par score. You want help from your fielders. Good piece of fielding there at backward point. So you've gotten your one short ball out of the over with early, if that makes sense. 𝗂𝗃 𝗧𝗍 has a tremendous amount of pace, Lenny. Would you recommend bowling the very first ball of your spell as a bouncer that goes over the top where you can't bowl anymore in the over without conceding a no ball?
Yeah, bowlers are peculiar beings, Brian. Oh, look at that. Easy as you like, and that's 4 runs.
Well, that's why you don't want to bowl the first ball short, Lenny, because everything else after this has to be pitched up. And with the wind coming from the north, you know that a ball that is pitched up to Cheyenne Jahangir will go for runs. So you're absolutely going to not want to not bowl that length. And by the way, my apologies, that's not Cheyenne Jahangir who played the shot. It was 𝗃𝗍𝗃 Singh. But the principle is still the same. If you over pitch anything from this end, it will go for runs. That's why you always want to have the short ball in your back pocket to put in the minds of the batter.
And what we have seen, Brian Walters from the Stallions X, they've used four batters at the top, whether opening or batting a 3. Sharad Lamba is another top order batsman, and then we have seen Kananta.
Boy, it's a strong batting lineup. You don't think that there is a lot that could potentially upset the apple cart, so to speak. You mentioned Ari Kananta. He'd probably be in the top 4. We haven't said the name Cheyenne Jahangir yet. Just the batting alone in that top 4, top 5 would seem to be enough to be able to carry them all the way down. Somebody like a Sharad Lamba, you mentioned him. Boy, the resources with the bat are so vast that you absolutely need to bowl a tight opening spell here to at least put them under some type of pressure. Right in front and gone, Lenny. Well, that's how you take pressure on, knocking back or getting the batter trapped on the crease, and umpire Nuruddin with no doubt whatsoever. 20-for-1.
Yeah, you never know what surprise could be sprung from these 130 scores. And Brian, so many times we talked about, look at that. Yeah, good call from the umpire. And 𝗂𝗃 𝗧𝗍 is quite elated. 𝗃𝗍𝗃 Singh, not many today. The first one goes, is 20 on the board.
20 on the board, so my goodness. You need to get into the middle order. So you want to break that opening partnership. You've done that here. Only another 119 runs, Lenny, and 109 balls. So the required rate just a tick over 6.5 and over. With this team, 6.5 and over, they can ordinarily do in their sleep. So you've gotten essentially into the wickets column. It's going to be important now to keep the run rate down. Still scoring at the rate of 10.91 despite the loss of that wicket.
And you look at Zazai, Brian Walters. He's picked up wickets in this tournament. 2 for 29, 4 for 30 in one game. And we talked about he's coming here, replacing Aziz. And he's picked up 1 so far. Kananta comes to the middle. We talked about the top order, what it will look like. And so far, we've been spot on target. We're only now waiting for Lumba to come at 4. And then we talked about it.
But hey, look, maybe they're listening to us, Lenny. So interesting matchup. 2 youngsters. Ari Kananta out of Houston. Father Sudhir Kananta is watching on with absolute interest from wherever he is at the moment. The first ball. Flashing. Is this gone? It is gone. Oh my goodness. 2 and 2 for the quick young man. Absolutely brilliant stuff here from Yusuf Zazai. The last 2 balls of the over, 2 wickets taken, 20 for 2 Stallions X.
So hat-trick when Zazai continues his other over. Look at that, the celebration.
That says, this is my pitch.
This is my turf. I belong here, you don't.
It is interesting. Look at this again. The absolute brilliance of this youngster. And so, yes, you got off to a real fast start. 16 runs from the first over. But look at that second over. 4 runs scored and 2 wickets taken. Watch this again. Just saw all the effort from this youngster. Really brilliant with the ball. And it is now going to be the veteran lefty Shehenjai Surya who's coming to the crease. Look at this celebration. Oh, just saw it there for a second. Okay, we'll catch it there in a minute. But it's that celebration. It's the passion that you like to see. And he did his job. Number 1, pull things back. And then number 2, taking those 2 top order wickets, a critical component of being able to defend this total.
So in the meantime, Shehan Jayasuriya comes to the middle. So we didn't see that coming. We thought maybe Sharad Lumba would have walked. And all of a sudden, Brian, with a couple of wickets here, Raymond Reifer takes the ball. And he comes in here as their leading wicket taker. 9 in the series so far. So he comes in here with some bit of pedigree.
Boy, strength against strength here. Oh, is that going to carry? Just landing short of mid-on. How big a wicket would have been, Lenny?
Yeah, it looks like Arnav Iyer, tall man. And whether or not the boys were quite elated, we saw a ball hanging in the air for some time of Cheyenne Jahangir and fell just short of Arnav Iyer. It's all happening here.
Up and over. He loves that area, Cheyenne Jahangir. You saw the strike in that direction earlier. And we're confirming that that does, in fact, go for 6. Lenny, this is good stuff. It's almost like a heavyweight match. One blow after another being landed.
Brian Walters expect nothing less from Jahangir. We talked about he's one of the best around here. And look at that, into the offside. He picks up a maximum.
Carved away over the top for 4 more.
Yeah, a couple of boundaries in successive balls. So not a good start from the captain, Raymond Reifer. A 6 and a 4, both on the offside. But look at this one, just guiding the pace of the ball. Good slice. And that has gone away for another boundary.
Very intentional. The width is what is undoing here. Look how wide this ball is. Cheyenne Jahangir just needing to help it over the circle behind point, and it goes away for 4. So again, a couple of good strikes here for Cheyenne Jahangir.
Oh, no.
Looks to slash it through the offside. So when you are Raymond Reifer, you bring yourself on because you have 4 overs of high pace. You have the ability to test the middle of the pitch, but the last ball that was so wide, was flashed away wide and full. I don't think that's the type of delivery that you're looking from the captain.
Yeah, we saw them play yesterday, Brian, and I thought our observations were that their bowling lacked probably one other specialist bowler. And of course, I'm pretty sure we will see Nitish Kumar. Hotak has been given one. We've seen a little bit of Zazai. Aziz is not in the lineup today, so we'll have to wait and see who will form the bowling attack. And bearing in mind, Brian Walters, and for all our audience watching, Zazai, when he bowls again, he'll be on a hat trick.
So a different challenge here. The left-handed Shehan Jayasuriya. Almost said Sanath Jayasuriya.
Yeah, Brian, we're always tempted to mix the international players up. 3 gone is 31 for 2.
In the books, Lenny, to extend my boxing analogy, how do you score the first 3 rounds?
Well, I talked about the Shayan Jahangir factor. But other than that, Brian, we've seen a couple of strikes from Zazai. He will continue, and he is on a hat trick, folks. Last 2 balls in the previous over got the wicket of Tajinder Singh and also got the wicket of Kananta in successive balls. So here we go, hat trick ball.
Watch deep backward square leg. Watch the short ball. It's always going to be on the cards. Hat-trick ball. Oh, relatively anticlimactic. Shayan Jahangir just tapping it into the offside for a single. Hat-trick averted. 32 for 2. 107 needed in 101 balls, Lenny.
And Brian Walters, you can tell classy batter when Shayan Jahangir is on strike. Nothing troubles him. In fact, it's the other way around. he puts the bowling under pressure. A man who's played 28 one international, 19 T20 international. So he's had some bit of experience at the international level and has been part of the U.S. setup for the last 3 or 4 years. And you've seen a lot of him, Brian. He plays in your region in the minor league circuit.
Well, long before there were minor leagues, there was the Houston Cricket League. He's been playing in the Houston Cricket League now for probably, I would guess, 10 or 12 years. Probably longer than that. I've known him for a very long time. Interesting here. You're going around the wicket to Shayan Jayasuriya. I've spoken all week about the fact that particularly to a new batter, you like the angle that is created when the right-hander goes over the wicket to the left-hander. And one unintended consequence of bowling around the wicket is that you tend to threaten the danger area more often, running down the pitch. And I think that's what Yusuf Zazai just did, and he was being lectured here by umpire Nuruddin. So something else to keep in mind as you get through this, his second over.
So a couple of good balls in this over, single and a dot.
That was quick. This is going to be a bye, I would think. Burst through the gloves of the wicket keeper. But my goodness, that was a quick ball. Bye signaled, and let's see if this is the one for the over. Not signaled as one for the over, so he still has that short ball up his sleeve.
So Saideep Ganesh, the wicket keeper. We've seen some top class wicket keeper on show. We saw Matthew Cross, Scottish international. On the opposing side, we saw Shayan Jahangir, the man on strike. He has made batting look easy today. And we've seen 3 4s and a couple of 6s off his blade.
Wrapped him on the pad. Umpire Nuruddin is not interested.
Yeah, another leg by. And you get the feeling, Brian Walters, we've seen a good over here from Zazai. Every passing ball that goes by, and you can concede even a leg by, or even if you can concede a by once, it's not going over or across the ropes, and they're not going for big boundaries. Then I'm pretty sure that you're holding things down.
Yusuf Zazai in particular is holding things down. Look at those figures. 1.4 overs bowled, 2 for 5. So he's not being in any way easy to score off of. He still has a short ball up his sleeve in this over if he chooses. Shahanjaya Surya, the man on strike. Now over the wicket. To me, Lenny, that's a better angle. Get too easily here, but young man is showing a really high level of skill with his bowling ability.
Yeah, we saw, took the wicket of Tajinder Singh and outwalked Arya Kananta, the young player. And Brian, that innings was so brief. My pen fell down, and by the time I picked up my pen, his innings was done.
So there, you can go onto my Facebook page, find Lenny Achayabar, message him yourself. That was a roundhouse out of nowhere for no reason. The young man, unfortunately for him, Arikanantha, not finding success today. His team, I think, still a nose ahead here despite those 2 quick wickets. Last ball of over number 4. That is a shot of class. Will it get to the boundary? How quickly did that ball race to the boundary? End of the over, 40 for 2.
Yeah, another good-looking shot from Shahanjaya Surya. We talked about the high-caliber players.
Oh, my goodness.
At the Atlanta Open, look at that, all across the turf. 40 for 2 at the end of 4.
यार हर ओवर में चेंज कर दो यार हर ओवर में चेंज कर दो 4 overs gone now.
So, Lenny, if all the overs were bowled from the southern end of the ground, you'd be in much better shape as the Central Cardinals. But the top end of the ground, appeal for a catch here. Talking about it, the umpires are going to have a look. For me, Lenny, this might be out because umpire, the standing umpire, it is going to be Eshan Molay, is going to go and chat with the production team. I'm thinking he knows or thinks that this comes off of the body or the glove rather, and he wants to see whether or not it carried. This is going to be interesting. First, we're going to check the no ball, you would think. No problem there. In fact, let's just be silent and watch them work their way through this.
How's it now? लग गया ना नीचे
Yeah, from what I saw, Brian, is that yeah, my observation is that Jahangir quickly pointed out the catch did not carry, so If it hadn't touched anything, I'm just wondering why he would have done that.
I heard it. I fucking heard it fall on the ground. You motherfucker.
Bro, but like if it hits your glove, it sounds the same, bro.
हरामीपन और ये
क्या
पोकर फेस
हरामीपन
देख
भाई?
ले पोकर फेस यार bro
हरामीपन क्या है bro?
मुझे पता है कि
मुझे लगा मैंने
कैमरा
पकड़ा।
में तो आने नहीं वाला लोड़े के कैमरे हैं
मुझे लगा मैंने पकड़ा है bro.
नोट देख रहा है
आ गया भाई.
ये हरामीपन तूने किया है
हरामीपन नहीं है.
Let's go, let's go, guys, let's go. यार क्या है दोज़ख पे जन्नत की बात है अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह
लाला जी but that's good take
आप लोगों के लिए तो 200 भी कम था यार
नहीं लाला
क्या कर यार बॉल मार
good take I thought it bounced I don't know why ये बड़वा बड़ा मुश्किल बॉलर है बहन चोद मार रख के मारते फंस रही है हमारे बॉलर ज्यादा मुश्किल थे तुम लोग सुबह
So Lenny, technology doing what it does, and you have maybe not full confirmation, but let's just say there was not overwhelming evidence to state that that was out. So Shaheen Jahangir lives to fight another day after some nervous moments. Raymond Reifer thought it was out, but the technology, I guess, does not agree with him. Great delivery going across him here.
Yeah, we saw Shaheen Jahangir probably not doubting the fact that it came off something, but he was making the point more of it didn't carry.
Yeah.
So my take on that is that if he hasn't touched anything, why does it matter whether it was carried or not? But I will probably get the word later on, but a big appeal.
Well, my take on it is that if umpire Ishan Moulay did not think that it hit either the glove or the bat, that there would not be that whole delay in the first place. So clearly the umpire thinks that it came off of the glove or the bat, and looking at that side angle replay, it appeared as though it came off the bat. No issue whatsoever whether or not it came off the bat. The only issue would be whether or not it carried. And I think, let's just say that there was not enough evidence to rule definitively that it did carry. I think a good decision overall. It's not written officially in the rules of the game that the doubt always goes to the batter, but that's generally the way that these things play themselves out.
So the action continues. Still a couple of dot balls and a single from Raymond Reifer.
Shaheen Jahangir going over extra cover. This will be clear for a year rather, running back from outside or inside the circle. A couple of runs. Don't think he hit it as cleanly as he can, Shaheen Jahangir, but 2 runs nonetheless.
Yeah, we talked about the batting order here. Solid one. Usman Khan is another player who's gotten among the runs, and then we haven't seen Sharad Lumber, so it's a strong batting lineup. Raymond Reifer has gone for 3. This one has been good so far.
Short ball hammered into the deep. That might have the legs to get to mid-wicket, and it does. So a bit of a fight back here after the nervous start to the over. 1 ball remaining, but you're at 47 for 2.
Yeah, another good-looking shot from a man who's previously played at the international level for Sri Lanka. And look at that, short ball pulled into the onside, picks up another boundary. And we were talking about not too long ago, it had been a very good over from Raymond Reifer, but with that 4, and we saw a couple previous to that ball, this over's now gone for 7 with 1 more ball to come.
Down the ground, he drills this. Lenny, the expensive overs are the ones from the north. Over number 2 went for, make that over 1 went for 16, over 3 went for 11, 51 for 2 after 5. Ebbs and flows. If all of the overs in this innings were to be bowled from the southern end of the ground, this would be a very different game. But unfortunately, you need to use both. 2 overs bowled from the south. Over number 2 went for 4 runs. Over number 4 went for 9 runs. Overs 1, 3, and 5 went for 16, 11, and 11 respectively. So that's where your game is right now.
That poses a challenge to skipper Raymond Reifer because, as they say, it's a game of partnerships, batting and bowling. So if you can build pressure from both ends, it may result in wickets, and it hasn't been the case, which has allowed this innings to propel to 51 in the first 5 overs despite the loss of 2 wickets. Both similar namesakes, Cheyenne and Shehan. Commentator's nightmare at times.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Good job that they look different, and their right hand, left hand.
So it's going to be 𝗂𝗄𝗽𝗄𝗃, I believe, who's bowling here in over number 6. Last over of the power play, single down the ground. Shaheen Jahangir looking very dangerous. 28 from 16. Shaheen Jahangir. Make that Shaheen Jahangir 29 from 17. Shaheen Jahangir 16 from 8.
But what an impressive spell that was from Yusuf Zazai. Watching from the sidelines, he was really letting it go.
Let me interrupt you to ask for you to give me the correct pronunciation of his last name.
Zazai.
Zazai. That works for me. I trust you more than I do me. But however you pronounce his name, absolutely brilliant. Good pace, good hostility. You love his passion. And those 2 strikes to end over number 2, I think, made the Stallions if not be in a difficult spot, at least wobble a little bit. Knocked him over. How big is that? Shaheen Jahangir looking to put that over the fence at mid-wicket. Cameron Hotak has other ideas. 53 for 3.
Well, wickets will keep him in the heart, the Cardinals, and that is a big wicket here. Shaheen Jahangir looking to bring out the big pull shot. A little bit of an edge as well, I think, onto the stumps, and animated celebrations from Cameron Hotak sends the skipper back.
Boy, do you think that was a short enough ball for that shot, Shah Faisal?
Just rushed on to him, not short enough. Probably not only misjudged the length, but also the trajectory and the pace on the ball. And he'll have to pay the ultimate price. Shaheen Jahangir.
So things have just gotten that much more difficult. Yeah, big picture, you're far ahead of the game. End of over number 5. The Central Cardinals had 20 runs. You currently have 53. But losing 3 overs inside the power play is never a good thing.
Yeah, wickets, like I said, will keep them in the hunt. The Cardinals, a partnership is required.
Gets it through. Don't think it will go all the way to the rope, but a good positive start. Come back for the second. Took a way longer time than I thought they should coming back for that second run, but 2 runs nonetheless.
Usman Khan, the new man in, the Pakistan international, the current Pakistan international. He's a very good player of spin, coming off the back of a wonderful 94 yesterday. Oh, he's got him. How about that?
Well, in some ways, at least in basketball, this would be called an assist. The wicket was taken by Cameron Hotak, but I think the assist goes to Shah Faisal on this one. To me, Shah Faisal, this is a ball that is too close to cut. He's playing that off the back foot. The ball is essentially on off stump. That, to me, is a ball that you play with a straight bat.
Got really too close to him. Look at that. Back foot was planted. He needed to get it out of the way to create that room for the hands to go through. Got cramped. And look at that look of surprise. But that is an art of deception that the spinners thrive on. And credit to Kamran Hotak. Double strike in the over. 55 for 4 at the end of power play.
Well, the wickets taken all from the southern end of the ground. 2 wickets taken for Yousuf Zazai. 1 wicket taken from Kamran Hotak. And 1 wicket taken by Shah Faisal. Seated next to me, Shah Faisal. Good spell on the way, both for you and for the man on the field.
Well, this game on, and it brings out the best in everyone, I guess, when the game is as competitive and tight. We were all a bit cold in the morning.
Oh, it's warming up now.
When the Cardinals started their innings, yeah.
And this, to me, is a brilliant move. Heard from Nitish Kumar. Oh, we'll find eventually hear from Nitish Kumar, but he's an off spinner, bowling here to the left-handed Shehan Jayasuri. I think that's a good move.
Yeah, absolutely. Before that dismissal of Usman Khan, I brought out the team list to go through that how long their batting lineup is. But no matter how long your batting lineup is, if you keep losing wickets like this, the dressing room, the dugout will feel tension. No stability. The procession of batters walking in and out of that dugout, it really sends panic. And who will steady this? Hassan Mohsin generally is an innovative player. He will bring out the unconventional strokes. But is it time for that? Is it occasion for that?
The advantage that you have if you're the Stallions X is that you've built yourself a little bit of a cushion. With that dot ball, you have another 83 runs to get, 82 balls in which to get them, but you've started out very fast. Your scoring rate is 9.08 before that last ball, now 8.84, but you're still ahead of the scoring rate. So something that looks like correct cricket shots, playing with a straight bat, taking the 1s and 2s and punishing the bad balls. That would feel to me to be the objective in the next several overs. Quick single taken here, and that's another big element of the next several deliveries. Shah Faisal is running between the wickets.
Yeah, it has to be precise.
Come on, boys.
These are the moments when the batting innings is on that kind of a slide with wickets falling. Generally, that tension comes into the running between the wicket and a run-out results.
Yep.
Something that Stallions would not want it to happen to them.
Batting it!
It's interesting. Now, Shehan Jayasuri wanted a single there. I don't know that there was a single there, Shah Faisal.
That is exactly what I was talking about, because now they're feeling the pressure. They need, and they know that strike rotation is important, but so is the calling and communication.
What I've found to be important or interesting in this over, at least the last 2 balls here from Nitish Kumar, he's teasing him, tossing it up. Please hit the ball into the wind. All you want, please. Tossed up again. In fact, there he takes the bait this time, goes over extra cover though, and gets it in the gap for 4.
That is a classy shot from Shehan Jayasuri. Got under it. Quicker delivery from Nitish. And he just brought that bottom hand into play to lift it over that infield and found the gap. There were 2 sweepers, but it landed right between them. Good way to finish the over. You see those use of the wrist and the bottom hand coming through. It's 61 for 4.
Let's go, guys.
61 for 4, Kamran Hotak. That last over that he bowled, over number 6, the last over of the power play. 4 runs conceded, and the 2 big wickets of that Cheyenne Jahangir. We mixed those up again. Of Cheyenne Jahangir and of Usman Khan. Two gigantic wickets in any context, but particularly when you're looking to get through and get over the finish line in this eliminator.
Hassan Mohsin played a fantastic knock in one of the games earlier at field 5 on a very challenging pitch. He brought out those switch hits to good effect to break the rhythm of the bowlers.
This doesn't feel like switch hit territory to me just yet,
Sometimes these players, they really have a settled game plan, and they think, for us, maybe at times we're guilty of calling it unconventional. For this generation, probably
it's what they know.
Yeah, exactly. So the way he played, because they were in a spot of bother then too, but he just brought them out with that kind of approach. Like you're right. Today it feels different though. For some reason, I think he's going through and thinking to go conventional. What a comeback from Kamran. 16 in the first over, then came back and 2 strikes in his second.
My goodness, yes. Oh no, look at this. You have got to be kidding. You have got to take advantage of those opportunities. They don't present themselves. That gift had a bow wrapped on it, Shah Faisal.
It did, and that confusion, the pressure of the situation, the pressure of a knockout game, the decision-making was not good, and Hassan Mohsin will have to thank his stars, because Kamran, if he held on to that ball, he would have been out of his ground. He had to bring out the big dive, but we don't know as Kamran dropped the ball.
They're coming back for the second. They'll get 2 here. Boy, going back to that run-out opportunity again. That is one that, first of all, the communication between the 2 batters, I think, shows the nervousness or the sort of sense of urgency that you referred to earlier, Shah Faisal, with them running between the wickets. That creates the environment where they have to sort of push for runs, and that almost resulted in a run-out. Not sure exactly where Hassan Mohsin saw that there was an opportunity for a run there. I didn't see it.
Just an easy single on that occasion. Yeah, earlier in the over, if you remember, the ball went in the similar direction and Cheyenne took off and Hassan sent him back. So on that occasion, Hassan assumed that Cheyenne wants that run, and Cheyenne said no. That is the confusion and the confused minds. The muddled thinking makes for wrong decision making. And that is the pressure of nothing but pressure. Not that these boys, they don't know how to communicate or how to judge runs. It's just the pressure of the occasion.
It really is that simple. Well, that ball closes things out in over number 8. Pressure is building. The required rate is increasing. The run rate is coming down. And all on the heels of a really fast start. So the eliminator is building several different storylines here, Shah Faisal. End of over number 8. The score is 65 for 4. Back to live action here. Might have just missed that live. Shanjaya Surya running down the track, maybe trying to change the conversation just a little bit. Results in the dot ball, though.
How ambitious was that shot, though? He was yards out.
Well, he was almost closer to the bowler than he was the keeper on that delivery. So, yes, very much an ambitious appeal.
And that adventure resulted in a leg side wide.
That sounds like an inside edge to me, so nothing going for that appeal either. Some nervous times here, but for now, 𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗃 is still there. 25 from 19. How much depends on his shoulders.
Yeah, one ball is turning, the one sliding through. Nitish Kumar is spinning a web. Almost on the walk. 𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗃 and comes back, pick up the second run. That's good running.
That looks like more assured running to me.
The ball was in the gap and softly played. That's the run out in the last over. Look.
Oh. I will say this. Looking at the replay, it ended up not being. It ended up being closer than I thought it would have been. I thought it would have been out by a mile. By the way, look at that delivery. Bounce, grip, and turn from Nitish Kumar.
Yeah, to go with the slider that comes back in to the left-hander. 𝗂𝗲 would want to keep those pads away as well. That length is relatively easy to manage, and the running more assured on that occasion.
So he's shown an ability, 𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗃, to just tap the ball around the corner. Just tuck it off his hips and pick those singles up. So you want to be outside the line of off stump to him, but not too far outside the line of off stump because he loves that lofted extra cover drive. So he tends to be a batter who scores freely. Strike rate above 100 tells you that. But my goodness, you have a relatively small window of opportunity. It feels like if you don't break this partnership that is now starting to build. If you don't break this partnership sometime in the next 3 or 4 overs, then you may be in trouble here. That's the reverse sweep we were talking about earlier, 𝗂𝗲 Faisal.
Yeah, with those strings or strings of singles and twos, you have a feeling, I just feel in the com box that modern day batters are just not used to it, and they cannot sustain it for any length of time before they bring out the big shots. 69 for 4 after 9. How beautiful a day it's turning out to be.
Worm tells the story there with the beautiful sky in the background, ladies and gentlemen. If you, it's pleasant now. It's a little chill earlier. Today is pleasant. If you have the ability to come out to Rydal, Georgia, 𝗵𝗃 Cricket Field or Sports Ground, it is absolutely free for you to attend to see some high-level cricket as we go into over number 10 here. Cameron Hotak. There's the running that you're looking for. Pressure is being released.
Even there was a little hesitation. Hassan Mohsin just had a glance up to make sure that 𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗃 was coming before committing.
𝗂𝗲 Faisal, I have a friend who you and I both know, but who for now, at least for purposes of this comment, will remain nameless. He just texted me and said, have not heard yours or 𝗂𝗲 Faisal's result prediction as yet. And I'll ignore the rest of that statement. Are you in the prediction game, 𝗂𝗲 Faisal? And if you are, what is your guess as to how this game goes the rest of the way?
Well, generally, I'm not in prediction game. But I still got that list that I brought out with the amount of batting still to come for the Stallions. I think they will get over the line here.
Well, that solid forward defensive shot from Hassan Mohsin says that I have all the time in the world, and even though I only have 2 runs scored from 8 balls faced, we're probably in good shape. You go all the way down to the man who you heard at the innings break, Ehsan Adil. He has long arms. He can hit the ball over extra cover, which is not normal for a big fast bowler. So if it comes down to that, you can still expect a few runs from him at the end. It is going to be an interesting finish to this match. You're almost at the halfway stage. 10 overs bowled, 70 runs on the board, 69 more needed. Could that be any closer than that? 70 for 4 after 10.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
So halfway stage, 70 for 4. We've seen a good knock so far from Shahan.
No run, no.
And 𝗂𝗡𝗄𝗧, we talked about batters in this tournament. Lack of foot movements at time. There's an appeal as they came back for a sharp 2.
Now, I think technology will be used. Shahan Jayasuriya looks very confident. The shake of the head towards Hassan Mohsin, reassuring him that he's made it. The throw came a bit wide, and it had to be flicked back towards the stumps. Obviously, that takes extra time. And Jayasuriya has moved back to his position as we watch. Nicely worked into the gap. Fielding was good, though. Hassan Mohsin hesitated a little bit, but the throw came to Jayasuriya's hand. How wide is the throw? Look at that. And he is still short. I think if we roll it back, when the stumps were broken.
Bro, you should walk, bro.
Yep. Almost a foot out. Shahan Jayasuriya. And that will be a big blow. I think the message will be communicated, and it has now been relayed to Jayasuriya. Look at the celebrations from the Cardinals. How big a moment in the game is this?
So another wicket falls. Shahan Jayasuriya is gone. Batted well for 29. It's 70 for 5. And so match hanging in the balance here. 𝗂𝗡𝗄𝗧 still some ways to go, as it looks like new batter walks to the middle. Shahan is gone, but he batted well while he was out in the middle.
It was close, it was far.
Sharad Lamba, the new man in. And 71 for 5, 68 needed. The pressure's building. And that is what knockout games do to you. Conditions are good. Wicket is playing pretty good. There's been some good bowling.
Come up, bro, come up.
Some reckless decision making as well from Stallion X.
Yeah, we saw when Cardinals batted 𝗂𝗡𝗄𝗧, they were batting 5 down at 50 plus on the board, so it's 71 here. New batter comes to the middle. Sharad Lamba has come in at number 7 today. We were talking about earlier on, he would have been part of the top order, but he's come in at 7. Still time left.
Nice Nitish, boy.
Yeah, generally I've seen him bat at the top of the order as well, Sharad Lamba. He's a very good player, had a very good minor league. But the part of minor league that was played here at 𝗵𝗺𝗲𝗏, he didn't have a happy time of it.
Now what we've seen in the last couple of overs, the run rate has gone up
Just one, push
past 7.
Nice set, good moving.
That's a big boost for the bowling team. The Cardinals, we've seen a good bowling performance from 𝗧. He picked up 2 for 11 so far. He's got a couple of overs remaining. 2 for 25 from Cameron Hotak.
Come on, boys.
Aided by,
That's the right option, yeah.
by the big run out of Shahan Jayasuriya. And we've seen a good stay so far from Hassan Mohsin. We saw him might have been a couple of days ago. 𝗂𝗡𝗄𝗧 got a few, and we know he can bat.
On the boundary, bro, on the boundary.
He's batted at number 6 in this lineup, which is studded with big name players. So, and he's potentially a very good player.
Big shot from Sharad Lamba, finds the gap and goes away for a maximum.
Well, that is a statement of intent from Sharad Lamba. New to the crease, but takes on the favorable matchup of an off-spinner and deposits Nitish Kumar over the fence. That is a glorious stroke. Key to that is the footwork. Look at that. 1-2 bang. In complete control. 11 gone, 79 for 5.
Left arm round. New bowler. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's go. We need to make up this time, guys. Let's go.
So the action continues.
I'm trying my best to push.
Looks like we'll have a new bowler here, 𝗃 Faisal. We've seen spin from Cameron Hotak, but he's done. And it looks like 𝗵𝗺 has been given the ball, so more left arm spin in the form of Chaitanya 𝗵𝗺. Ball into the offside and can't score. You get the feeling, 𝗃 Faisal, this is going to be an important phase. We talked about in the previous over, because of what we have seen, the run rate had gone up just beyond 7.
Yeah, but that Sharad Lamba strike was just in time. Hassan Mohsin, though, needs to pick up a little bit.
Yeah, you're right on that. What a difference a 6 makes. Now, what a difference a couple of dot balls will make. Hovering at about 6.9, which is about 7. If he bowls a cheap ball here, it will go up over 7. Still so much to bowl at, so much to play for. Yeah, a good start here from 𝗵𝗺. 3 dot balls.
Yeah, I think Hassan Mohsin is in two minds. You could tell there's no clarity in his batting at the moment. He's taking his time, but building dots is not ideal. He played 14 deliveries so far.
Oh, good shot. It's running up towards the offside boundary and may go across the rope. It does. And that's a lovely shot from Hassan Mohsin for 4.
That is where Hassan Mohsin is at his very best. And he has that clarity of mind to go through and express himself with these shots. He's good at it. These probably are not unconventional to him. You've got to stick to your strengths no matter what conditions. Got down in position very early and then switches around, makes good contact.
And 𝗃 Faisal, I'm pretty sure the bowlers, when batters are playing switches, you don't mind at all? Isn't it a risky option still?
I think the bowlers these days get put off because now he has to worry about a sweeper on the offside, whereas if Hassan Mohsin goes conventional, where does he want to find that sweeper from? So open up another gap for the batter.
So ball into the onside. The server's gone for 5. 𝗵𝗺, one of 5 bowlers to be used so far. We saw a fiery spell from Yusuf Zazai, bowled with some bit of steam.
He did. That was very impressive spell. And that is an option for skipper Reifer as well. When do you want to bring him back? Because we saw in one of those games he bowled terrific Yorkers towards the end. In fact, the opening game where he cleaned up the tail to secure victory, a narrow victory on that opening day against the Eagles.
Yeah, we saw Zazai coming back into the side because of Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz has been left out. In came Zazai, but 𝗵𝗺 has gone for 5 in this over. Wrapped on the pad, always going to be in trouble. I talked about when you're not stretching out, you give yourself a bad option.
And that was beautifully bowled. The arm ball kept coming in, and Lamba was pinned right in front, way back in his crease. That'll be the evidence. Have a look at that. That ball skidded along, and feet rooted to the crease. The umpire took his time and gave the decision. That is a big wicket now. Lamba is an excellent player of spin. He is now departed, and Stallions sinking 6 down rather, and plenty to go still.
So 84 for the loss of 6. Looks like 𝗂𝗧 𝗬𝗂𝗽𝗂 has come to the middle. And we've just seen the departure of Sharad Lamba, leg before of the bowling of Bishnoi. So it's all happening here, still 55 to win. And you get the feeling, 𝗂𝗃 𝗏𝗀, we've seen good spin bowling from Nitesh Kumar, 3 overs no made, none for 19. But Bishnoi, 1 for 5 in an over that had so much drama. So Yusuf Zazai, we talked about how impressive he has been, 𝗂𝗃 𝗏𝗀, and you were wondering when he would come back, but here he is. They heard you.
Yeah, they think that this is the moment that need to be seized. Skipper Raymond Reifer, obviously very experienced, and he thinks this is the moment to go for the kill with his speedster. Hassan Mohsin will be on strike. Fine leg is back for Hassan, who generally likes to skip inside the fast bowlers and employ that scoop.
So Zazai runs in. Mohsin gets a good ball into the offside. And 𝗂𝗃 𝗏𝗀, one of the things you will notice with Hassan Mohsin, he loves running those quick singles.
Yeah, quick single with a dead bat. He hasn't really pushed out in front in search of that single. So either it's attempt of a big shot or a block, and that is not ideal.
Yeah, how many times we've seen you go into a shell, then that's not good also. And so far we've seen a couple of wickets. We talked about how good Zazai has been. In fact, those 2 wickets were consecutive wickets.
That's a sharp bumper. Very good bouncer. Well, a lot of folks here from the Caribbean and from Pakistan, traditionally, we love our fast bowling. There's never a bad time to see a bouncer like this.
Yes, speaking of the West Indian and West Indies, 𝗂𝗃 𝗏𝗀, Sir Clive Lloyd is coming here. And he'll be on hand for the latter stages of the tournament. And so a chance to meet and greet Sir Clive Lloyd as he is heading to the Atlanta Open in 2025. Ball driven down the ground. Arnav Iyer comes into play, and we've seen a good over again from Yusuf Zazai.
Once that 1 for the over is out of the way, the batters can be a little assured of the length that they can expect. 𝗏𝗃, next man in. He's seen these crises many a times in his career. He's a very good man to be coming in at number 9 in this lineup. And Asif Mahmood, we saw what he can do with the bat. So they're still batting to come.
So an over that has gone pretty well for Zazai. Couple of dots and 1 single. Usman Khalid gets quickly off the mark. And folks, if you're watching on the screen there, we see Usman Khan is another batter who lost his wicket off the bowling of Cameron Hotak for 2. So this is Usman Khalid.
The left arm spinner. He's done the job with the ball now. He's been asked to do it with the bat as well. A nervy finish to this game. Who would have thought that after that blitz with 50 odd runs in the first 5 overs? But then the wickets have fallen consistently.
Into the onside, another single here for Mohsin. And he's gone up to 10, 𝗃𝗃 𝗏𝗀𝗃, but he's used up quite a few balls to get there.
Yeah, he has, but in this scenario, good thing he's still here. And with the pace on offer, these two have been able to rotate strike in this over 3 singles. Just need a little bit of stability. Because once they get over the 100 mark with no further damage, they will be able to see the finishing line, and that will fill them with some sort of confidence. This is a tricky phase, though, the next couple of overs.
So 2 for 14 from Zazai. And this over's gone pretty well for him. Let's see if he can finish strong. Yeah, he does. Quality delivery. Defensive is Usman Khalid. And so 13 gone. It's 87 for the loss of 6. Back with the action. Bishnoi will continue. And we talked about the required rate. 𝗃𝗃 𝗏𝗀𝗃 going over 7 has gone to 7.4.
Well, if you look at the options available to the skipper, Raymond Reifer, Bishnoi only into his 2nd over. It's gone away from the wicketkeeper, Sadeep Ganesh. Couple of runs to start off over number 14. So Bishnoi's got 3, but Kamran Hotak is bowled out. And Zazai's got 1 over left. 1 for Nitish Kumar and 2 for Raymond Reifer himself. You have to juggle it, all these bowlers around in the remaining 7 overs or 6 after this. See he can come up with the best combination and take the required number of those 4 wickets, because if Stallions were able to bat their 20 overs, I think they will get over the line. So wickets, the order of the day for Cardinals.
And 𝗃𝗃 𝗏𝗀𝗃, you get a feeling that but they've only used 5 bowlers. And if things really go pretty well, we could see these same 5 taking us through the remaining 6 over after this one. You talked about a couple of overs remaining for Raymond Reifer. He's gone for quite a few today. Big shot into the leg side from Usman Khalid, and has gone for a maximum.
Yeah, that will ease some nerves in the dugout for the Stallions X. Was right in the slot for Usman Khalid. Got a good connection. Brian Walters trying to retrieve the ball. Don't worry about it, Brian. It's gone too far. That is the strike that Stallions needed. After they thwarted Yusuf Zazai, which didn't go for many runs that over, but at least they didn't give him the wicket that Raymond Reifer was after.
Yeah, punched away into the offside. And 𝗃𝗃 𝗏𝗀𝗃, we are talking about this required rate. If a boundary is not scored off the over, it goes beyond 7. But look what happens when one of those big shots come out. So a big shot from Khalid. And it has gone beyond or under 7. So essentially means somewhere along the line that the Stallions X will have to at least keep in touch with the required rate by scoring one of those big shots here and there. Ball defended here by Hassan Mohsin. He's played a good hand. He's been around long enough. And we've seen 9 of this over so far from Bishnoi. Yeah, going down the leg side. Called a wide. Will have to be rebowled.
3 wides and a single and a 6. What? 10 off the over. That has met the requirement for the Stallions, for this over at least.
Yeah, you look at Hassan Mohsin. He has a good head on what is required, and he knows that with 6 down, the last thing they want is for them to lose another wicket. Stallions X. Into the offside, lofted shot. Fielder will come around, will not get there on time. And look at that, gone away for 4. The 100 comes up. And it's a good shot off the bat of Hassan Mohsin.
Beautifully played. He's got the good stride out while defending. This time he took the stride but cleared that front pad and lifted it over that fielder at extra cover. Didn't try to hit it hard, just stroked it away. Beautiful piece of timing and placement. Have a look at that flourish. There is none. Just the solid punch to lift the ball over. And the placement was top class. Over number 14 done. 101 for 6.
So Raymond Reifer, the captain, comes back into the attack. We talked about a couple of overs remaining from him. 𝗿𝗃 Faisal, he's gone for 11. 2 for 22 in his 2 overs. We saw him yesterday. Almost every time he picked up the ball, he picked up a wicket.
Well, like every time he picked up the bat, he made a meaningful contribution. So now is the time, I think. The captain has decided it's time for me to lead from the front, and if that is the case, that would be an awesome move because they definitely need a wicket at this stage.
Starts well, ball defended. Usman Khalid and Hassan Mohsin. We saw a lovely shot in the last over off the bat of Hassan Mohsin. Shot of class. We talked about he has really held up things here against the Central Cardinals. Still 38 to win. Eased into the offside. And 𝗃𝗃 Faisal still knocking the ball into open spaces, and the singles and the twos can still work for them. They need 37 to win.
Especially off the back of the previous over, which went for plenty. 14, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lenny. But then, if you have an over like this where run rate is not challenging, that gives you that breathing space to just knock it around and wait for the opportunity. But make sure you don't lose a wicket, because a wicket here will really bring Cardinals back in the game. Run rate, the required run rate is not an issue here.
Yeah, we saw 14 in the last over, 3 wides. And we saw a lovely 4, which we talked about. And so Raymond Reifer and 𝗃𝗃 Faisal, very brave to down the leg side. We've seen several wides in the last couple of overs, and this is another one.
Yeah, they received 18 extras themselves. And now their contribution, they've given away 7. In a tight game like this, every run is vitally important.
Yeah, for Central Cardinal is to put some pressure on Stallions X. They will have to pick up a wicket and make it interesting. Into the offside. Good running here. We talked about how good or how keen Hassan Mohsin has been to run these sharp singles. Although it may have accounted for one run out that we saw that we had to go to the tape. That of Shahan Jayasuriya.
Yeah, that was really pressure moment, and there was plenty of confusion before that run out occurred. But since Usman Khalid has come in, he had one big strike and steadied the ship.
So ball steered away, call of 2. Look at that, good running, putting pressure on the fielder. And a couple of runs there for Usman Khalid.
Bit of a cheeky flick from between his legs by Sadeep Ganesh. We may still need to go upstairs and check that one. That is what the umpire has signaled. We want to have another look. That was clever piece of work from wicketkeeper Sadeep Ganesh. A bit of a MS Dhoni-esque flick. But Usman was running full tilt, so I don't think he took it easy at any stage. But these little moments could be interesting. Nicely stayed away. Good use of the wrist, and probably wicketkeeper will be out of your picture. That's the first run. Hassan Mohsin. Have a look at that flick. Oh, he got there just in time. But it was way closer than what we thought initially. A lot of dust coming off as he dragged the bat into his crease. He's in before the stumps or the bails can be dislodged, but the umpire will have a decision. And that is a close-in look for him with the zoomer. Great innovation to this broadcast today. Umpire though wants to be absolutely certain, because whatever we say wouldn't count. Whatever he says will count.
So if he says not out, it will be a couple of runs off the bat of Usman Khalid.
That's the frame where the bails are dislodged, but the bat was in. Probably would want to roll it back a couple of frames. And it has been declared not out. Good decision from the umpire, but it was so close. Great piece of work from Sadeep Ganesh.
Yeah, they pick up a couple of runs. Usman Khalid. And this over's gone for 5. Still a couple of balls remaining, Shaw Faisal, and it comes down to almost run a ball. And these days of T20 cricket, run a ball is a walk in the park for many teams.
How close was that, Lenny? Oh, that was a close shave. The inside edge could easily have gone onto the stumps.
Yeah, Usman Khalid getting a bit of an inside edge. Sadeep Ganesh did well to keep the stroke to only 1. Take a look at that. And in the end, we have seen an over gone for 6. Still a ball remaining. Raymond Reifer. And ball again into the offside. Hassan Mohsin is keen on running. No, says Usman Khalid. And that will complete 15. So 15 gone. It's 107 for 6. They need 32 to win.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and 𝗃 Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T-Sport.
So 107 for 6. 𝗃𝗺𝗃𝗀𝗃 comes back into the attack. Brian Walters, welcome back. 5 bowlers being used. And it looks like the Cardinals will go ahead by not introducing another bowler. 𝗃𝗺𝗃𝗀𝗃, who's bowled before, he comes back into the attack. 32 to win.
It's going to be close, Lenny. It's coming down to the wire. In modern day cricket, a runner ball is not that difficult, but the pressure of the eliminator, I think, has something to do with what you do here. But you do have a very experienced pair, the 𝗃𝗍𝗄𝗃 Usman Khan and Hassan Mohsin. Both of them, you would think, have the pedigree to be able to take them over the line.
Yeah, we saw a big knock from Usman. And we have seen Hassan Mohsin hold up things here for the Stallion X for some time. And you get the feeling it's just probably a runner ball. 31 to win from 29. So, as you made mention, shouldn't be so complicated and difficult as 𝗃𝗺𝗃𝗀𝗃 will finish up here, Brian Walters. And they have stuck with their 5 bowlers so far. Yeah, paddle into the offside. And they go through for another single, and you can hear the applause from the Stallions X, and they know how much 1-1 can do.
I could say sometimes in some parts of the Caribbean, 1-1 cocoa full basket. In this case, 1-1 cocoa, 1-1 single at a time will take you over the line. 6.43 and over is the exact required rate, but this type of activity, picking up ones, and you get the loose ball every once in a while, you get a wide every once in a while, that would be the formula for winning from here.
So we've seen Cameron Hotak, he's done. So Yusuf Zazai, he has one. Raymond Reifer has one. 𝗃𝗺𝗃𝗀𝗃 will finish here, and that leaves Bishnoi with 2 overs. Brian, as a captain, is it a good thing to introduce maybe the 6th bowler at this juncture of the game?
Essentially, you've painted yourself into a corner by only having 5 bowlers so far. I completely, the premise of your question is that it's risky to introduce a 6th bowler right now. I agree completely. But the flip side of that coin is that you're going into the last 4 overs, 2 of which will be bowled by a spinner. And so that, for me, has all kinds of difficulty. You would think that the spinner would be bowling from the northern end of the ground, from where the wind is coming, and that means Raymond Reifer and Yusuf Zazai, in theory, would bowl these last 2 overs from the southern end.
So the required rate, 6.7, very close to 7. This has gone pretty well for 𝗃𝗺𝗃𝗀𝗃. He will finish up here. Lofted over the offside and gone for a big maximum.
Does that take the pressure off? That's what happens when you keep hitting the singles. You rotating the strike, you have a lefty and a righty together, the bowler keeps having to switch his line and his length, and then you leave one in the slot, and it is drilled by Usman Khalid over the top of long off for a gigantic 6.
So 16 gone, it's 117 for 6, 22 to win.
Let's take a look at this again. And I said in the slot, oh, in fact, we're looking at the wrong one there, but for the most part, that last shot there, up and over the top there, that is the one that is in the slot, and that's just simply an elevated off drive going all the way over the ropes for 6. Brilliant strike.
So Zazai has been throwing the ball, and you get the feeling, Brian Walters, not a bad plan. You want to bring your strike bowler as we come down to 22 to win, time running out.
Well, your strike bowler is going to have to bowl. Look, it's easy to sit here in the commentators area and give an opinion. I would have thought that the spinners would be bowling from that end, the top end. So Chaitanya Bishnoi with 2 overs remaining, assuming that he's not going to introduce another bowler, it would mean Chaitanya Bishnoi will be bowling 18 and 20. That feels like a risk to me.
So paddle away into the onside. They come back for 2 valuable runs here for the Stallions X, bring them closer home. They're 20 away.
And maybe the bet that you're making if you're Raymond Reifer is this game may not go to the 20th over. So what we need to do is bowl, see if we can strike now. Let's bring a strike bowler in now with 𝗂𝗃 𝗍𝒽 bowling his last over. And then I'll bring myself on, meaning Raymond Reifer, in over number 19. That might be the, over number 18. That might be the strategy, because if it goes all the way down to 22 of those overs being bowled by a spinner, that feels very risky to me.
So what a shot. Was looking to take evasive action, and we will have to wait and see on the replay if it was deliberate.
Absolutely deliberate. No deliberate action or evasive action about this. Intentionally going over the top of the keeper. It is a great piece of work. He is bowling with plenty of gas, 𝗂𝗃 𝗍𝒽, but that's what you do if you're Hassan Mohsin. Use that pace to your advantage. Just intentionally lifting it over the keeper, couple of bounces, straight behind the keeper for 4.
Yeah, lovely uppercut off the bat of Hassan Mohsin. So 16 to win. This over's gone pretty expensive for 𝗍𝒽. Look at that. Into the offside. More runs here for Hassan Mohsin. And it goes away for another boundary. 8, in fact 10 off 3 balls in this over.
Well, pace can sometimes be your detriment if you're not exactly accurate, and not a lot of room for error there, just marginally outside the line of off stump. But Hassan Mohsin staying leg side intentionally here, staying on the leg side and making sure that that ball is elevated over the offside for yet another boundary. So this has taken all of the momentum out of the defense for the Central Cardinals. Last 3 balls coming up here in the over.
Oh, more runs here. Fielder will come around. Has a lot of work to do. Does well. And 2 more runs. 12 in 4 balls in this over. And it comes down to 10 to win.
Yeah, you bring a strike bowler back in to take wickets. Not only has he not yet taken a wicket, he has conceded a few runs here. And it is important to note that this partnership is an important one. If you get through here, you maybe have a bowler or 2 who can throw his bat around. I mentioned Esa Nadil, believe it or not, is a good hitter down the order. But I think you want this pair to finish the chase.
So we talked about 12 in this over. A couple of 4s. Slower ball. Hammered into the onside. Could go for 6. It has gone for another maximum off the bat of Hassan Mohsin, and brings that equation down to 4 to win.
Oh my. I said pace can be to your disadvantage sometimes. So he goes with the slower ball here, 𝗂𝗃 𝗍𝒽, but he picks it early, Hassan Mohsin, and absolutely drills it over mid-wickets. 18 from 5 balls. This is not what you had in mind when you brought back your strike bowler. And the Stallions X are on the verge of ultimately what will be a pretty emphatic victory.
Yeah, the over started with them needing 22. And now a short ball. Hassan Mohsin goes under. 17 gone. 4 to win. It's 135 for 6.
How many to win? 4?
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
So 135 for 6 here, Brian Walters. 4 to win. Raymond Reifer, last roll of the dice.
This does in fact feel like the last roll of the dice. I thought you're painting yourself into a corner, as I said earlier, with two of the last four overs rather being bowled by a spinner. And Raymond Reifer taking the gamble that bringing his strike bowler in from the northern end would have resulted in a wicket taken in that over number 17. Not only did he not take a wicket, 𝗬𝗎 𝗧𝗧, but he went for 18 runs. So just on the verge of victory here.
So playing a miss here from 𝗂𝗓𝗏 Khalid. And we talked about a big partnership between Hassan Mohsin and Usman that's gone beyond the half-century mark, 51. And a critical partnership that seemingly brings them in touching distance of a semi-final berth. 135 for 6, 4 runs to win. Ball into the offside, and the runs continue to come between this pair out in the middle.
Well, the 51 partnership was a big one. No real partnerships of note, except for maybe the third wicket partnership went for 33. But a lot of consistent wickets fell in the middle overs. But at the right time, this partnership, Hassan Mohsin 35 from 33, Usman Khalid 21 from 15. They've put together 51 runs. And that is exactly what made that 52 after that last single. So that's exactly what is needed at this stage. And just a couple of runs, 3 runs specifically, to go for victory here.
And Brian Walters, let's look at the crossover as we look towards number 3 in the semi-final slot. This one lofted over the infield. And a single more to Hassan Mohsin.
Okay. Well, 2 runs remaining for victory here. And I will tell you that after some nervous moments, the Stallions X are going to, it appears, go on through to the next match. And I think you, Lenny, have some information on who that opponent would be.
Yeah, ball worked into the onside. This could be the game. And they'll come back for a couple of runs, exactly what they need. And essentially, they march into the semi-final, the Stallions X. And it looks like they'll take on the Clarion Eagles.
Boy, heavyweight clash right here on this ground tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. The Stallions X and the Clarion Eagles. But let's talk about this game. The Stallion X, even though they had some nervous moments, lost a few more wickets than they would have probably expected and had to grit and claw for a while. But ultimately, the class of the batting lineup proves to be the most effective component of this victory, making it a relatively straightforward victory in the end, victory by 4 wickets. We'll look at the scorecard when it comes up, but my goodness, I think that partnership, the very last partnership, unbroken for the 7th wicket between Usman Khalid and Hassan Mohsin, put together 55 runs, and there you see the scorecard, Lenny. Shahan Jahangir off with a good start, 29 from 18. Tejinder Singh and Arya Kanantha didn't do much, neither did Usman Khan or Sharad Lumba. Shahan Jayasuriya contributed valuable runs in the middle overs, and then that big partnership at the end dragged them over the line with 14 balls to go.
Yeah, we'll look at the bowling card. So, promising start when 𝗧𝗧 took the ball. Also, Cameron Hotak was pretty good. Look at that, 2 for 25 from Cameron Hotak. The left-arm spinner, 𝗬𝗎 𝗧𝗧, consecutive wickets at one time. He was on a hat-trick. Other than that, probably 138 looked to be a little too underwhelming. And at the end, we have seen a victory here for the Stallions X.
Certainly a victory for Stallions X, so we'll have probably a little bit of time. There's your summary. The Reifer, I think, batted beautifully to drag his team to that 138 rather. 64 from 37, brilliant innings from the captain, leading from the front, dragging his team from a really tricky situation earlier. But ultimately, Eleni, I don't think they had enough runs. I think we talked all along that it needed to be somewhere around the 150 mark. 150 makes this a completely different game. And ultimately, when you're asked to do that type of effort, a well-bowled game from the Central Cardinals, just 6 extras, and 4 of which were wide. So for the most part, they got the balls in the right areas. But the class of the batting for the Stallions X is essentially what made the difference in this game.
Yeah, happy faces, and that is because Stallions X have made it into the last 4. We talked about the clash with Clarion Eagles tomorrow. We've got another game coming up, Brian Walters, but this one has really been a good one here as Raymond Reifer has certainly played a good hand. He got 64 along the way. And you talked about 138, maybe another 15 or 20 runs. It would have been such an interesting scenario. But the win by 4 wickets, the Stallions X, certainly led by Shayan Jahangir. We've got Shaw Faisal with the losing captain. And Shaw Faisal, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Lenny. Well, it wasn't meant to be for the Cardinals. I've got their skipper, Raymond Reifer. Raymond, in the middle part of that run chase, when you got them 4 down, they looked a bit nervous. You might have felt in with a good chance then.
Yeah, I've been seeing you here too much first, innit? Yeah, I thought we had them I thought the game was in our possession, the game was ours for the taking. But I thought that we didn't stick to the plan as long as possible. I think that we floated up too many balls in that middle phase, especially spinners. Probably should have stayed a little more patient and let them make the mistake by building pressure.
Toss is obviously not in your hand if I take you back to the start of the game, but that certainly was an advantage to them bowling first on those conditions.
I thought we didn't play the power play particularly well, to be honest. You know, guys going a little too hard. They should probably let to drop and run, or just try to rotate straight and build a little momentum, so that we could obviously stay in the game. I think we got probably 18 in the power play game today, 18 for 2 or 3. You can't win cricket games like that, to be honest.
Absolutely, but you looked good again with the bat, and that was that rescue job that you did, that little partnership as well in the middle, but you look good with the bat throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I've been feeling in good rhythm of late. Unfortunately, I didn't get my team across the line, so I don't know how to feel about that.
A bit bittersweet, but thank you very much for your contribution to this year's Atlanta Open. You come here, something about the tournament. How did you feel coming here, and how was your experience playing here?
I thought it was a really good tournament, a tournament where you need to hit the ground running. Competition in this tournament is really good. There are some really good players in all of the teams, so you really have to play good cricket if you want to win this tournament.
Thank you very much for the entertainment you and your team provided. Hard luck today and all the best.
Thank you.
That's Raymond Reifer, ladies and gentlemen, and now I will be joined by the winning captain, Shayan Jahangir, pleasantly exchanging a few words with the losing captain, Raymond Reifer. Shayan, congratulations. That run chase got a bit nervy toward the middle when 4 wickets were down. That's how we felt it. How about your reaction in the camp at that stage?
For sure, the kind of talent that we have all throughout our batting lineup, I think there was a sense of calmness in the dugout, and I think that related on the field as well, how calmly Hassan Mohsin and Khalid Usman, they finished the job for us. That just goes to show the depth that we have in our batting and the belief that we have in our system.
Take you back to the start of the game. That effort with the ball, especially early on, was very good to set the tone for the rest of the day.
Yes, starting a game, especially the morning games, is crucial to be on point with our bowling, and I think the bowlers executed their plans perfectly. I would say Raymond's innings kind of brought them back in the game, but alhamdulillah, the boys finished it with the bat.
Any areas of improvement?
A lot of areas. I mean, we're trying to play a perfect game, and we're going towards it. And hopefully, in the next few games, we can put our A game and, inshallah, keep progressing in the future.
And games come thick and fast. No rest day at all. Big semi-final coming. How the body is feeling? How's the depth in the squad being tested?
Boys are working really hard. They've worked hard on their fitness during our off season. We don't really get time off to really load up our bodies, but the boys are taking care of themselves, staying hydrated and raring to go, finish the tournament on a high.
It was a fantastic victory for you and your boys today. Congratulations, and rest well and come back strong tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Shayan Jahangir, the winning captain. And now, time to announce the player of the match for his fantastic knock in a pressure situation, in a pressure game in the run chase. Our player of the match today is Hassan Mohsin. Hassan, join me, and we will be joined by Hassan Tariq, namesake of Hassan Mohsin, the proud owner and chairman of the league. He will present the winning medal to our player of the match, Hassan Mohsin. Hassan, very well played today. It was a big game, and when you walked in, there was a little bit of pressure, but you guided the ship very calmly.
Yeah, definitely. When I was there in there to bat, so the condition was not easy, but alhamdulillah I played well, and at that time 2 wickets goes down back to back, but I played well, and I'm happy, really happy for the performance.
It was unlike you. You took a lot of time to begin with. Your strike rate wasn't great, but there was still calmness, and you always felt like in control. Was it like that?
Yeah, as I mentioned, the conditions was not easy when I was in there to bat, but I knew it. We have a lot of strength in the end, like Asif and 𝗂𝗍𝗵𝗂𝗧 as well. They can bat. So I was just thinking like if I play well, if I played along, so we will win, and that's happened.
And someone like you who has so many shots in the locker, how difficult it is to put them all back for a little while when a situation like this comes around.
Yeah, definitely. But I like to play all 360. I like to play reverse sweeps, some sweeps, and but at that conditions, I had to stay there, and I did well.
All right. We really enjoyed your knock. Congratulations, and go well in the semi-final.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hassan Mohsin. And that is it down here from the presentation party. We will have a second game coming our way as well in the afternoon. But before that, let's head back to the comm box. Lenny and Brian are there.
Faisal, we'll quickly take a look at what has happened here. Brian Walters, Stallion X, happened to get over the line. Look at that. A lovely shot at the start from Shayan Jahangir. He's such a classy player. And quickly he got into the act. But look at this man, Zazai, springing a couple of quick surprises, a couple of strikes from him. A leg before Tajinder. And then, of course, not too long after, he picked up another one. So he picked a couple of strikes, made it quite interesting for the Cardinals. But later on, we saw a good knock from the likes of...
Well, that you saw the 2nd and 2 delivers there. Struck twice. You saw the replay for the LBW a couple of times. But then Shayan Jahangir, I thought, came and played a very mature innings. More than run a ball. Got the dismissal, well, almost dismissal there. I think it was fended. And you had the long appeal and the overruled by the third umpire. But Shayan Jahangir, I thought, was good. Steadied the ship and did what he needed to do to get his team, especially with the loss of Shayan Jahangir on that last wicket you saw.
Yeah, Cameron Hotak, he came in with a couple of strikes of his own. But we talked about a big knock from Shahan. He really batted well, Brian Walters. Unfortunately, we will see a little bit later on, he got run out in one of those. Very good fielding that we had to go to have a look upstairs, but we saw some lovely shot again. Sharad Lumba came in, played a brief innings, but he fell off the bowling of Bishnoi, leg before wicket. Sharad Lumba.
Bishnoi just knew that one was out, started celebrating before the fact, but even you saw that they brought back the strike bowler Yusuf Zazai. Good couple of blows down the ground. There's some old guy running after the ball, don't know who he is. But I'll tell you that given the maturity of the pair that put on 50-odd runs for the last unbroken for the last wicket, it became a truly interesting finish to the match. And here, even though you might have had that run out, that's the run out that you're referring to, Lenny, but the maturity of the pair at the back end of the innings is what made the final be ultimately a foregone conclusion.
And the fact is, you look at Hassan Mohsen, who played a very good knock, 36, and batted and just tucked the ball around. But towards the end, Brian opened up a flurry of boundaries to get them across the line and into the semi-final.
Oh, that last shot that you saw there was exactly the shot that took them over the line, ending things. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the first match. So do join us right here at the 𝗵𝗃𝗏 Sports Complex for the second match that will be later on this afternoon. That match between the Kingsmen and Seattle Thunderbolts. That is eliminator number 2. Starts local time 2:15. Toss coming up. Well, for our purposes, we'll be doing the toss here. You'll see that on your screens if you join us at about 2:10 p.m. Central. Make that Eastern time. In the meantime, we're signing off here from 𝗵𝗃𝗏's. See you in a few minutes.